the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number, and I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it, flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday, everybody. And grand opening Friday.
Yes. Yes, it is.
We are a mere 3 hours away.
Ooh.
Actually, 2 hours and 2 hours and 53 minutes. If
Nice.
you want to go.
Look at you doing the back math.
Well, they're going to have the grand opening of the South Main McDonald's.
Yes, sir.
10 a.m. this morning. They're going to open up with the lunch menu, full lunch, and I guess dinner menu as well. They are the same.
Yeah, which actually means you're getting it 30 minutes early.
This is true. 10:30 normally is
In
the
case you
switch
scratch
over.
that Big Mac itch right at 10 o'clock.
You're like, I want a quarter pounder at 10:07.
Order through the app. It's going to be a bit busy.
Oh, well, they are having, a whole, grand opening celebration at 10 o'clock this morning. But,
Yes.
come on down, be one of the first to come and get your meal from the South Main McDonald's here.
One of the things, I worked at the McDonald's, I was at the downtown McDonald's. This is a decade and a
Pre-UFO
half ago.
McDonald's.
Yeah, pre-UFO McDonald's.
Yeah.
And then I transferred to the Walmart McDonald's when they had first opened up. It was actually
Okay.
before the Walmart Supercenter had opened up.
Okay.
So for the first month, we were just making food for the employees of the Walmart.
Yeah.
And that's like getting our stuff set up and getting everything ready for
Which
us.
is still, I would imagine them there's still probably 100 some odd people.
There was quite a few. Yeah, so it kept us busy. But one of the things I will never forget is having a burger off of a fresh, like a brand new grill.
Wow.
It's literally one of the best burger experiences I have ever had in my entire life.
Interesting.
It was fresh. It was just fantastic.
Good deal.
Quarter pounder, by the way, for those curious.
Nice. I imagine there's you go two ways with that. Because
Yeah, the grill that's been seasoned for a while, it does have that certain flavor to it.
yeah. Well, I mean, you think of like some will argue this, but some argue that the best green chili cheeseburger in the state is at the Al Bar there in San Antonio.
I would agree.
Some will argue, some will have that debate another time. But I think we all can agree it's a tasty burger. Those
Sure.
that have had it.
100%.
But the secret's always been that grill's like 75 years old and it's been seasoned and seasoned.
It's seen some days,
Yeah.
and that does add a bit to almost the patina of the burger. But the inverse of that is also true. Having that that fresh patty off of that pay off a fresh grill surface, it's a different experience.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So come try it today. Like I said, they're going to open beginning at 10 a.m. this morning.
Yep.
They're going to start with the lunch menu. They'll have the full menu and full hours tomorrow at the South Main McDonald's.
And I believe it's full open as well, play place and everything, correct?
To my knowledge, yeah.
Okay.
It's grand opening. I'm assuming everything's going to be there for all to come and see. So we got that going on today. Of course, other big news is the mask mandate was lifted by the governor, which really mostly impacts schools. That's where that's where it's been still enforced. Brian Luck, superintendent for the RSD, issued a statement yesterday making masks optional for the Roswell Independent School District for students and staff. and reminded everybody that just because someone chooses different than you, that's okay.
Exactly. Let other people do what they want to do. Do what you want to do, and don't be a jerk. One of the things though, because this happened like right in the middle of the school day yesterday.
Yeah.
So it was announced in my daughter's classroom. She was so excited. She went to the whiteboard and drew "Happy No Mask Day" on the whiteboard.
Well, my wife told me it was a scene like a party.
Yeah.
Like
they were just tearing
like
and
it was like and then you start
open mouth kissing in the corner. It was weird. It got weird, man. This is only third grade too, so
the song "I Got to Be Free" starts playing in the background while people are throwing.
I got to break free.
Starts throwing the mask in the air and celebrating, but. Yeah, it was
firing them off.
It was a joyous occasion there for many.
Popping bottles, as any good third grade class should.
It was the VIP. But excuse me, I think I feel a little better than I sound.
It seems like that as it clears out, it's like the darkest before dawn kind of situation. Like as it's clearing out of your system, it's gonna be the worst, I think.
Yeah. So I have moments of me sounding. Gross. I apologize.
Laughter is hard when you can't breathe.
Yeah, that one's a biggie. Laughter and talking in an excited pace or any kind of pace that's, when you're just talking conversationally in your world, it's not as big. But when you're broadcasting, you do actually talk a little different and you kind of speak a little different. That's a little harder when I got a cold. Yeah,
hard sell is not fun when you're sick.
Especially nasally. I feel very nasally.
I remember doing, and this is years ago, those commercials for the liquidation sales that would just randomly come out.
Oh, yeah.
I would do these. They were 60-second spots. After I did these spots, like I would cut the VO for it, and afterwards I felt like I had run a mile. Like my side was legitimately
you're literally
hurting.
puking out all that stuff. It's like, cameras $5, $2, and you're just going whoa, and you get. I've done those ads. Hurry!
Eastern Mexico State Fairgrounds, be there.
You'll pay for the whole seat, but you only need the edge.
Right?
Yeah, all that mess. But I've been there, done that. But yeah, you're right. It is different there. So congratulations to McDonald's. Come on out to the grand opening of the South Main beginning at 10 a.m. this morning. Of course, you can't wait to eat till then. You can come by the other McDonald's. They got you covered. We have our delicious breakfast fares. Thank you to McDonald's for that. Got my iced tea. Got a bevy of sandwiches in the other room there.
I opted for a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit today.
Nice. I saw the green chili had made its way back today, too. So all is good here.
To make sure to throw that chili away after the day, though.
It
starts to become its own civilization after 2 days.
Yeah, old chili's not good chili.
It's crazy how quickly that grew mold. I left it on my desk last Friday, and I came back Monday, and there was a tiny little civilization. They had buildings built.
Oh, lovely!
A little rocket ship was taken off. It's crazy.
Chiltopia.
Exactly. It's real spicy down there.
Yeah. But big thank you to McDonald's. Let me give you the rundown. We actually have quite a busy show today. We're going to play our Ted Vigil interview this hour. Of course, that concert is tomorrow.
Yes.
2 shows, 2 p.m., 7 p.m. Tickets are available for both. RoswellTheater.com, Theatre.com is that website. So we're going to play that interview this hour. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to start off early. County Manager Bill Williams will be joining us, and we'll be recapping County Commission meeting. We also have Congresswoman Yvette Harrell scheduled to call in at 8:30. So we'll probably have Bill hang out and join us, and we'll talk little county business, talk obviously Congress business with the Congresswoman, and we'll probably have Bill in join us too. So that's my plan.
Is that Bill on the line? Hi, Bill.
If everybody's amenable to. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we're going to have Denise Samuels and Kirk DeSoto with the Roswell Community Little Theater join us. And right after Ted Vigil weekend here, the final weekend of February, first weekend of March, they've got their next production, Four Old Broads, that's going to be playing there at the Community Little Theater. It's a comedy.
Yeah.
Hence the name. And,
it's a biting drama about a pregnant teenager.
That's right. It's a coming of age story. No, but they're going to talk about For All Broads with us here in a little bit.
Very good.
And we'll have some fun there. Plus, we'll have all of your hourly features that include the news of the local and national variety, town hall business, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show.
Indeed.
Yeah. Weather. I guess we should do that.
Yeah.
Get you up to date on that. A little nicer than yesterday.
Shaping up to be a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, weekend's looking pretty good. We just had our 1 day of coldness yesterday, and we're slowly get out of that.
I would argue that Wednesday was actually worse than yesterday.
With the wind?
With the wind, the cold wind was worse on Wednesday than it was yesterday. Yesterday was just cold.
Yeah.
Wednesday was stupid windy.
Well, Wednesday, now all fairness, I was kind of sick Wednesday. So I came here for a little bit, and then I went out to get like mail and stuff.
Right.
And every time I went out, it seemed like hot wind, like you're in one of those blow dryers at the beauty salon, where they put the beehive heads in it. Those things. Yeah.
I kind of wonder if the wind, like in your specific area, if like the way it kind of whips down that thoroughfare or that path, if maybe it just heats up from like the blacktop or something. I don't know.
Maybe hot wind.
Yeah, that super hot wind coming off the blacktop.
I like my wind heated. Yeah, I do.
It's a feature. We have heated wind around here.
That's right.
Some people have heated seats. We have heated wind.
It's a selling point. It is 7:16.
You're jealous. I can feel it.
Here is your weather, whether you need your heated wind machine or not. Here you go.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll be on a warming trend this weekend with high pressure setting up over eastern New Mexico. We've got fair conditions expected today, about 60 for the afternoon high, and we should get sunshine all day, down to 25 and clear for the overnight hours, and then a little bit warmer on Saturday, mid-60s and sunny, a big boost on our daytime high on Sunday, mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 20 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 60%. Winds are calm at the moment. Pretty nice day today. We're going to be up in the low 60s. Sunny skies, high of 61 today. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. For tonight, skies will be clear. Expect an overnight low of 26 degrees. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. For you Saturday, sunny and 64. West winds 5 to 10 in the morning, picking up 10 to 15 for tomorrow afternoon. Clear skies tomorrow night with an overnight low of 28 degrees. Winds will be out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then Sunday in the mid-70s, sunny and 75 with southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies Sunday night, partly cloudy skies Sunday night with an overnight low of 38, and then mostly sunny and breezy for your President's Day on Monday with highs right around 72 degrees. All right, it is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview with Ted Vigil, who is going to be doing his John Denver Tribute Show tomorrow. Matinee, 2 p.m., and a 7 p.m. showing at the Roswell Community Little Theater. Stay tuned for ways to get tickets. Don't go away.
Ed Heldenbrand, candidate for City Council. He's a patriot fighting against the waste of your tax dollars. As a CPA and Chief Financial Officer with over 35 years of experience, Ed understands the importance of managing budgets. By reducing the wasteful spending in the budget, we can lower your city water, sanitation costs, and work to reduce city fees. Roswell's potential is hurt by bad ideas and wasteful spending. Ed Hildebrand will never vote to shut down Roswell. He'll fight the job, education, and freedom-killing mandates from Santa Fe. It's important that taxpayers see improvements in our roads and city services to attract jobs, businesses, tourists, and to create an environment for local businesses to thrive. In Ward 3, you have a choice. Vote Ed Heldenbrand, the conservative candidate. With your vote, we can build a better Roswell.
I'm Ed Heldenbrand, City Council candidate for Ward 3, asking for your vote on Tuesday, March 1st. It's not about me, it's about we, and I approve this message.
One of my favorite Bible stories is the story of the Ethiopian and Philip. I love it because of what Philip is willing to do and the message that he shares. The story goes something like this. The Ethiopian is on his way home from a work trip and is reading the Old Testament book of Isaiah. He gets to a point he doesn't understand. Philip, who is running beside the Ethiopian's chariot, says, "Do you understand?" Then Philip hops in the chariot and explains the passage to the Ethiopian. While Philip is explaining this obscure Old Testament passage, he ultimately tells the story of Jesus. The Ethiopian is moved by the story and decides to become a Christian. The story of Jesus still has that same power to move and power to save. Have you let that story penetrate your heart? At Country Club Road, we are always sharing that story. I hope you'll join us.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
The University of New Mexico is committed to ensuring that residents of our state entering college for the first time can afford to pursue a bachelor's degree with the Lobo First Year Promise. Qualified first-time freshmen who have graduated from a New Mexico high school and have an annual family income of $50,000 or less will have base tuition and fees for full-time enrollment covered for the 22 to 23 academic year. Application deadline is March 1st. The Lobo First Year Promise at the University of New Mexico. Find out more at promise.unm.edu.
It's a new year, time for new beginnings, and time to get a new vehicle for your family. Richland Chevy Buick GMC and Richland Dodge Chrysler Jeep both have amazing New Year's deals on both new and pre-owned vehicles. Check out both Richland's lots, where you'll find a huge inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles. Or better yet, customize your new vehicle. Order it today and build the vehicle of your dreams. And with the Richland Brand Champion program, you can ride with confidence knowing you're taken care of long after the sale. Ride for the brand that rides for you. Richland, where service is always job one.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
And joining us on the phone this morning, Ted Vigil, who's going to be doing his John Denver tribute show, two shows only here on Saturday, February 19th. Ted, thanks for spending a few minutes here with us.
Oh, it's great to be with you today.
Well, Ted, I gotta say, for the last couple of weeks, all of us have been, I think, New Mexico-ifying your last name, because we all have been calling you Ted Vigil because we see Vigil and we think Vigil down here in New Mexico parts. And then when I got your voicemail saying it was Ted Vigil, I was like, oh, well, we've been New Mexico-ifying his name. So if a lot of people call you Ted Vigil around here, don't be offended.
I was just in Colorado doing a show yesterday, or day before yesterday, and that's what everybody called me, Mr. Vigil. So that is it. That there's two pronunciations, but I'll take either one.
As long as I call you on time for the supper table, right?
That's right.
Perfect. So I guess we'll start here at the beginning. So how did when you got into music, was it because of John Denver, or did that come later? And then, were you always into music as a musician, and then people started telling you, hey, you kind of look like John Denver and sound like John Denver, or was it John Denver from the get-go for you?
Well, back to the beginning. When I was a small boy, I just decided that I needed to be a drummer. So I started pulling all the pots and pans out of the cupboard and making my own little drum set. And so after I had beat everything in the kitchen, my parents said maybe we should get him a drum set. So I played drums all through school, jazz band, marching band, stage band, and then I joined a rock band when I was in my teens.
Okay.
And I was the lead singer and the drummer. So that's how it started. I always loved music. Later on in life, I started picking up the guitar a little bit, and because I loved to sing and I wanted to be able to accompany myself. I got married and had kids, and all the music kind of went on the back burner. And then I went to Laughlin, Nevada. After my kids grew up, I wanted to get back into music, and I went down there and I entered this contest. It was an international singing contest. I qualified in Washington State, and they flew me down there. I was one of the finalists. And that's where I sang a John Denver song, met a couple people that knew him personally, had worked with him, and they said, man, you look so much like John. It's creepy, and your voice is very similar. So have you ever thought about doing a tribute show? I said, well, I'm more of a rock and roller, but, I don't know. Anything's possible.
Sure.
And, man, I couldn't stop the ball from rolling once it started.
Okay.
And that's kind of how it started for me.
Kind of like when you say drummer and then musician, all I think of is a Dave Grohl-esque type, of course, Dave Grohl kind of got famous in Nirvana as the drummer, and now Foo Fighters, starting his own band, music songwriter. He's gone on to do much bigger than that. But yeah, kind of the same thing where your drums got you into it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I still love my drums. Still play my drums once in a while.
So what's what I can imagine being a lead singer from a drum set. I mean, because it's all about breath control and everything with singing. But as far as physical exertion, I can imagine the drums are probably that instrument. That's got to be tricky to pull off lead vocals and drumming at the same time.
It is something that you have to master your instrument so you don't even have to think about it.
Gotcha.
And then sing. I remember when I first started doing it, it was very difficult.
Yeah.
But after a couple of years of playing 4 or 5, 6 hours a day, every day, then it just becomes natural. You don't even have to think about it anymore.
Probably makes you better at both.
Dedication.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it makes you better at both there. So when people started telling you, hey, you kind of look and sound like John Denver, I mean, was he like from there? Did it kind of force you to say, you know what, I need to take a deeper dive into the life of John Denver, or were you pretty well versed on it, before you decided to make the tribute show and do what you're doing here?
Well, when I first started doing the tribute show, I actually was not a guitar player. I was a drummer.
Okay.
I did tracks. I played the tracks for most of the show. And then some of the songs I would play, I learned a few chords. And then my wife's like, if you're going to keep doing this, you really got to learn how to play that guitar. And so I really had to dive into that. And then I got to work with Steve Weisberg, who was John's lead guitar player from 1973 to 77. And he helped me tremendously learning all those guitar licks, Rocky Mountain High. And that's very difficult to play that and sing that at the same time. That took me a lot of hours.
Gotcha.
But I did dive into the life of John. I did go to Aspen, and I went to the Memorial Park, and I went to Windstar when Windstar was still going. And I did get to sing for his mother, Irma. And I got to meet his brother, Ron.
Oh,
so
wow.
I got to learn a lot about John as a person.
Okay.
And I was really amazed at what an amazing human being he was, and how much he did for other people, and how much he gave.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, his impact on the world probably was as much off stage as it was on stage,
Yeah, certainly. The Foundation Windstar, where he helped to develop solar power and wind power way back in the day. His work with Jacques Cousteau and educating people about cleaning up the ocean way ahead of his time. All the things that he did for the vets. A lot of people don't know that he put a lot of money into doing camps for injured vets. People come back from war and missing limbs and legs. He had ski camps, and he did a lot for other people.
Sure.
World Hunger Project. I mean, it just goes on and on.
Yeah. Well, you speaking of his support of vets, that kind of also, I would imagine, ties into his Roswell connection, which you're very aware of, and we've talked with a lot of people that live here that John Denver has a Roswell connection back when Walker Air Force Base was still here active. His father was stationed at that base, so their family spent time here back in that time, and so John Denver, can call Roswell home, and so, and I imagine because his father and had the military, kind of grown up as a brat, I'm sure that influenced his love of veterans and things like that too. So that kind of ties in with some more of the philanthropic side of him.
Yeah, certainly. The song that he wrote, This Old Guitar, he tells a story about how, because he had to move all the time being an Air Force brat, that the guitar helped him to make friends. He found that when he played the guitar and sang, people would come around and want to meet him and know him, and so it was a great thing for him to have that, and helped him develop as a young man.
Sure, and I imagine it helped him meet, because then they say a lot of guys learn guitar to meet women. That's kind of the rule of thumb.
Yeah, and that's one of the lines in the song. This old guitar gave me my lovely lady.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, does your time pretty much devoted to doing the John Denver tribute, or do you still get to kind of work on your own stuff, your rock and roll side of you?
I do both.
Okay.
I would say my touring schedule is very busy. So I've done a couple tours in Australia, 6-week tours with the Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson tribute.
Oh, wow.
They called it Kings of Country. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time on the road, but I still love my rock and roll. And in fact, I'm working on another record here. And I'm going down to Florida to do a few shows and meeting up with bass player and steel guitar player. And I'm going to do start the project of working on an original record.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, then I got to ask this. Now that you like you said, you grew up a rocker, and John Denver wasn't really, the style of music you were into. So let me ask you this. Now where you're at in your life, is it fair to say that whatever you produce now, you cannot help but have John Denver influence it a little bit?
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that happened to me as a singer and as a person. These songs, Back Home Again, Annie's song, Sunshine on My Shoulders, Thank God I'm a Country Boy, Rocky Mountain High.
Mm-hmm.
These songs have become my mantra, and they're good songs about real life experiences, and it's really changed my life. And as far as singing rock and roll,
mm-hmm.
a lot of it's kind of, for instance, I did Led Zeppelin, The Who, Rush, those kind of
mm-hmm.
artists. And there's a lot of screaming. It's not not necessarily just screaming, but rock and roll as far as that goes, Robert Plant.
Sure,
a lot of that stuff is. But learning to sing like John and have that voice control and really put a lot of emotion into the songs, put your heart into it, I think it made me a much better singer.
And then just his ability to do that and make it look effortless, if that's the, you know what I mean? Some singers, like you can tell they're working. Other singers are working, but it looks like it's a breeze for them. And I always felt like John Denver was that kind. You know what I mean? Just
oh, certainly.
Yeah, he just could whip this out of his hat. It's with effortless. Where I'm sure that's not the case, but he's very good at making it look that way.
Yeah, it's. I think that he just had such a great natural ability. Some people are just born to be singers.
Sure.
And it's just in their soul, and I believe that about John for sure.
Sure. So I got to ask, with doing the tribute show, now do you feel like you have to look a certain way all the time now to keep with that, or do you get? Is it kind of like your own personal life? How much does that impact your own personal life as far as because anytime you play someone else and people see you, they expect a certain thing, and it's easy to almost lose your own identity in that sometimes. Does that impact you personally in any way like that?
Oh boy, does it ever! I have to tell you this, but I'll go to the grocery store and I'll have my beanie hat on and my sweatpants, and I'm out jogging, and people, did anybody ever tell you look like John Denver?
No, never.
It never stops. But I get, and people say, doesn't that bother you? It doesn't. I don't really mind at all because. It's what I do.
Sure.
I love my job. It's not like, I spend an hour putting makeup on and trying to look like this person. And the two guys that I toured with in Australia, they spend at least 30, 40 minutes doing hair and makeup and, trying to look.
Sure.
I just don't have to do that.
That's awesome.
They say everybody in the universe has a doppelganger. Somebody that they look like. There's somebody out there that looks just like you.
Yeah.
So I just came this way. Well, did you get your, did you have to, do some plastic surgery, or how did you, no, I didn't.
I just put on a flannel and a hat and some glasses, and here I am.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's because when I saw the promotional poster for the event here, And I just thought it was John Denver, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not John Denver. It's like I just assumed, they got a picture of John Denver here, and then I nope, that's not John. That's dead.
Yeah,
pretty cool.
It's all over the internet too, and people call me, hey, did you see this on the internet? They're selling T-shirts with your face on it, and it says John Denver. I'm like, oh, not again. And, people say you have to stop this. This isn't right. I'm like, how? I don't have any control over what people do.
Sure.
I put my face on a record and sell it. Bootleggers. It's all over the internet.
Yeah, man.
And I'll contact them. I'll say, hey, you're gonna have to, obviously you're not hooked up with Cherry Lane Music, it's John's estate, so you need to stop.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I mean, I don't want people, because people are like, oh, I just bought your shirt. It's so cool. I'm like, that's not. No, I'm not selling that. That's not me. No.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're running out of time, but I do want to ask one more question here before we remind everybody again. Like you said, you've met with some of the family and talked to them. Did you feel like you had to get like a blessing from them, or did they give you one? I mean, was there any of that where they kind of, like give you the nod of like, yes, you can be John? Was there any of those kind of moments where it felt like that you had to like be that for them, or was like interacting with the family? How was that? How was that taken? How was their interaction with you, and how you were with them?
They were very warm.
Yeah.
They were very inviting. And I think the biggest compliment I got was from one of John's uncles, and Abe. And he said, I really appreciate what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing, keeping John's memory alive.
Awesome.
Playing his music. These songs really hit the heart. And people miss him. And they enjoy going back in time and reliving good memories.
Good.
And that's what I bring.
I'm awesome. I was glad because sometimes it could go either way. Where if especially we lost him at such a young age and things, and so I didn't know if like seeing you brought up memories they weren't ready to relive again. Sometimes, you know what I mean. You never know. Sometimes when you come across people, whether they're still grieving or you know what I mean. So I'm glad to see that they kind of embrace that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I had one lady come to me after the show, and she said, I haven't listened to John Denver since he passed until I came to see your show. She said, I needed to break that bondage, whatever. And she said, and she was just crying and said, thank you for what you do. And I feel like there was some healing that happened. So I know a lot of people grieved his death, and still.
Sure.
I mean, he was very young, very much loved, and I think will be all through time, because good songs never die.
Absolutely. And but you also wonder too is I think maybe the fact that of his untimely death cemented him that much harder, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It's because now we know we're never going to get anything of this caliber again. We need to cherish it more. Therefore, it makes him more revered. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. I definitely believe that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
well, Ted, I do appreciate you spending some time with us here. Don't forget, the show is coming up here February 19th. It's one night or one day only, two shows, 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock. It's going to be at the Roswell Community Theater. Great news is this is a fundraising event. The Roswell Kiwanis Club and the Community Little Theater, the proceeds from the concert all will benefit, half will benefit the Kiwanis Club. They're using that money to build an all-inclusive park, the first one here in Roswell. And then the Community Little Theater, they gotta pay to fix that roof above their heads there. They've got some leaking issues and things, and it's not cheap to replace that big commercial building roof. So that's what the funds are going for. But they've got reserve seating is $30. You can also get the VIP experience for $40, which I would go ahead and do that, because every seat in the theater is an amazing seat. You do get preferred seating with the VIP. That's not really the draw. What I think the draw would be is you kind of get access to the VIP room where they're going to have, drinks and snacks for you to visit. And during like an intermission, you can go in there and mingle and things. You do get to meet Ted prior to the show, and you can have a few minutes with Ted here before he goes on. That's all part of it too. But get your tickets at roswelltheater.com, or you can call 575-513-8119. Ted, is there anything you wanted to mention before we let you get back to it?
I just want to say it's a really fun show. It's a family-oriented show. I typically get kids up on stage for Grandma's Feather Bed, and it's just a lot of fun.
Good.
So I'm really looking forward to getting to Roswell.
Be ready to have a good time and learn a little bit about John Denver as well. And like you said, bring the whole family. It's a family, fun, friendly show, and I think this is a great way to expose younger kids to the music of John Denver and really the history of music and getting them exposed to that. So bring them out. They're going to have a good time. Good deal. Well, Ted, appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you here on the 19th.
Sounds great. Sounds good.
Your Pecos Valley News Update. New details in the disturbing story in Carlsbad, where an Albuquerque man is charged with raping a store clerk and then getting into a standoff with police after the woman was able to escape. 37-year-old Kenneth Miller is being held for a slew of charges. Mayor Dale Janway released a statement Thursday to clear up some confusion in the community. He said that Miller remains in jail and that rumors that he was released are not true. Janway said Miller had been released from custody on an unrelated case on February 13th. He was rearrested for the current charges later that day. A project to remove old pavement on a section of South Sunset Avenue and replace it with new pavement is scheduled to begin Monday in Roswell. The pavement rehab work on Sunset will begin at Brasher Road and move north to Poe Street. The contractor replacing the pavement on the full width of the street, but a complete closure of Sunset is not expected during the project. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
We all know that big tech targets our children to get them addicted to their devices. It's always profits above safety. So now, 2 U.S. senators are proposing a law to give parents more control over what their children see on social media. Here's why that proposed law will be absolutely useless. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by CarShield. Their protection plans could save you thousands. Go to carshield.com/Kim to save 10%. Deductible may apply. Democrat Senator Richard Blumenthal and Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn's bill is called the Kids Online Safety Act. If it's passed, tech companies will be forced to provide settings to govern what the kids see and hear online, their online purchases, and help fight app addiction. It all sounds good until you remember that parents already have the ability to control their kids' online activity. They're just not doing it. Big tech didn't fail our kids. We did. The law will do nothing. If you need help, get my free kids tech contract at commando.com/contract. I get questions from small business owners every day, and one of the big ones is how to find and hire the right people. It can be tough, but that's where LinkedIn Jobs comes in. They make it easier to find the people you want to talk to, faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Job to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience, and then use screening questions to get your role in front of only the most qualified people. You can also use simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates worth interviewing faster. Did you know that every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? And you can post your job for free right now at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim. Terms and conditions apply. That's linkedin.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll be on a warming trend this weekend with high pressure setting up over eastern New Mexico. We've got fair conditions expected today, about 60 for the afternoon high, and we should get sunshine all day, down to 25 and clear for the overnight hours, and then a little bit warmer on Saturday, mid-60s and sunny, a big boost on our daytime high on Sunday, mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Last day of the regular season in basketball tonight, and the Goddard Rockets boys are hoping for a successful end. They've got the lead in their district, District 4, Class 4A, but they've opened the door for a chance for Lovington and Artesia when Lovington defeated Goddard back on Tuesday. But tonight, it's Goddard against Artesia. The girls start at 5:30. That's essentially for second place in district. But the boys from Goddard will host Artesia at 7 o'clock. If Goddard wins, they win the district outright. If they lose, all kinds of things could happen. The Roswell boys, last chance for a district victory tonight at home against Clovis, starts at 7 o'clock. And the Roswell girls, likewise, will be playing at Clovis. That also starts at 7 o'clock. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. U.S. auto safety regulators have launched another Tesla investigation, this time tied to complaints that its cars can stop on the roads for no apparent reason. The government says it has 354 complaints from owners during the past 9 months about phantom braking and some models. The probe covers an estimated 416,000 vehicles from the 2021 and 2022 model years. A strong fourth quarter for Walmart. The nation's largest retailer also has an upbeat outlook for this year and boosted its dividend. Shares rose more than 2% in late morning trading. Walmart executives said that its shoppers are still in good financial shape and they don't see any major changes in consumer behavior patterns like trading down to cheaper labels, but they're paying close attention to higher prices. On Wall Street, the Dow down 622 points. The Nasdaq lost 407 and the S&P 500 down 94 points. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Honey, did you see the story in the Roswell paper recently about how Dennis Kintai and the city council want to spend $61 million on new baseball fields?
Yep, talk about out-of-control spending.
Yeah, they say it's a field of dreams, more like field of debt.
Definitely. Kintai and the council don't have their priorities straight. Remember, they wanted to spend $35 million on a new public safety complex. Thank goodness over 80% of voters rejected that boondoggle.
And meanwhile, crime has gone up drastically over Kintai's last 4 years in charge.
Yeah, and Roswell's roads are a mess. Have you seen the sorry state that streets like North Garden are in? Potholes everywhere.
That's why we need Tim Jennings for mayor. Tim will control spending, hire more police officers, and fix our roads.
Let's send a message to City Hall that Roswell can't afford to spend $61 million on building new baseball fields. Vote Tim Jennings for mayor.
Paid for by Tim Jennings for mayor.
Austin Industrial is currently seeking a janitorial staff position to work in the Holly Frontier Refinery. You will be responsible for cleaning and sanitizing offices, meeting rooms, bathrooms, kitchen and dining room, and public areas. No minimum education requirements are needed, no experience is required, and pay is $13.50 an hour for this full-time 40-hour-a-week position. Apply at austin-ind.com or call Miss Cookie Look at 832-657-3385. Austin Industrial is an equal employment opportunity employer.
Attention dart enthusiasts, shooters, or just plain old chuckers. B&B Newsstand in downtown Artesia is the only place for quality dart supplies and dart boards. Plus, find wacky adult gifts like novelty socks and cup towels, Candleberry candles, Zippo lighters, and so much more. Come in and browse all the cool stuff at B&B Newsstand. You won't be disappointed. Root beer floats, Coke floats, and the best fountain drinks in town can only be found at B&B Newsstand on the corner of Main and Roselawn in downtown Artesia. Open Monday through Friday from 11 to 7.
The University of New Mexico is committed to ensuring that residents of our state entering college for the first time can afford to pursue a bachelor's degree with the Lobo First Year Promise. Qualified first-time freshmen who have graduated from a New Mexico high school and have an annual family income of $50,000 or less will have base tuition and fees for full-time enrollment covered for the 22 to 23 academic year. Application deadline is March 1st. The Lobo First Year Promise at the University of New Mexico. Find out more at promise.unm.edu.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 7:50. If you missed any part of that Ted Vigil interview, you can go back and check it out right now, anytime at your leisure, ksvptv.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel, and you can check that out anytime. And then, of course, don't forget, big shows tomorrow. They've got a 2 p.m. matinee and the 7 p.m. Evening show that's going to be taking place at the Roswell Community Little Theater. Tickets are still available, including VIP, which I highly recommend you get. Call. You can do one of two ways to get the tickets. You can go online to roswelltheater.com and make sure you spell theater, Theatre, or call Lori direct, 575-513-8119. Again, that's 575-513-8119. Get your tickets there.
Indeed. So. Get your VIP tickets, and once those are all sold out, then you can just get your P tickets.
See. Mm-hmm. Although, get the VIP if you can.
Absolutely. It's only $10 more. And
you get the food and the swag and all.
It's that line from Super Troopers. It's only $10 more, and look at all the stuff you get.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So, I went down a rabbit hole.
Okay.
Unintentionally in a Twitter discussion. Just reading, not
that's
chiming.
Never good.
I know it isn't, but I did.
Okay.
But it did spawn a question for me.
All right.
Basically, somebody came on Twitter and was talking about how people are mad at her because she likes her house at like 81 to 85 degrees. Okay. And people were just like, "What's wrong with you?" And she like explains she's anemic and all this, and then proceeds to tell a story where she about killed her friend because some friend spent the night or something. Mm-hmm. She had the house cranked up to like 85,
right?
Like electric blankets and space heaters like everywhere, and about killed these people. But anyway, but it started a whole debate. People are like debating the perfect temperature and everything in your house or what you set it to. So I know you and I have talked a little bit about this, but for you, in a perfect world, what's what do you set your thermostat at?
In a perfect world?
For you.
72.
72. Mm-hmm. Regardless, winter, spring, summer, fall. Yeah. 72. Money.
I would if money was no object, I would prefer a nice room temperature on the inside.
Okay. Well, we know I've told mine.
You hang meat in your house.
Yeah.
You like it cold, but you also keep a lot of warm things around. Blankets.
Yeah, we like to do that. Mm-hmm. However, after reading said comments,
right,
I don't think I'm as weird as people think. There was a lot of people saying 68 as their, and that was, and like, even like, I guess doctors say when you sleep, they say 68's the ideal temperature and all, at least that's, but I would even say I wasn't even the weird one. Like, there was people saying they keep it 65, 60 in their house.
That's a little cold.
It is for me. Mm-hmm. Like for instance,
and it's only like 3 degrees, 68 to 65.
It's a big difference.
It's a marked difference.
Well, and I'll tell you, because right now, this week has been the perfect indicator of this. And like the way our thermostat's set up is we have a range. So like we want the temp between 68 and 71 or something, whatever the little 3 or 4 degree window is.
Right.
It's set in that area. So like when the heat's on, like it'll kind of set to the higher or the lower. It's kind of, but because of it's automatic. It'll automatically flip air or whatever to keep it in that range.
Sure.
But with it getting warm at certain times of the day, like we had 70 and then it's dropping down to 20 and we're doing all that. It's kind of messing with that a little bit where it usually will keep it steady at 68. I'm like, good to go. But because, it's getting warmer and so it actually was creeping up to like 70, 71 in the house when it was warmer.
Wow.
Because the cold outside.
Right.
So I had to adjust the parameters there. But I remember I'll be sitting there and I'm like, it's warm in here. What do you mean? I look at 70. It's 2 degrees. But you would have thought I was like, like this human barometer.
The the lady I was most recently seeing, Jasmine, she's very cold natured, like as a person, she just likes it cold. So we would, spend most of the evening on the back porch. When it was freezing, I was, jacketed up and all that. We walk in the house and it was not much warmer in there, and she would check. It was 65 degrees in the house. It was like very little difference from the outside to the inside at 65. So I was like, that's definitely noticeable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's and I also too I noticed overnight it went the other way where the heat. So we woke up in the morning, it was 65 degrees in the house instead of 68, and I was like, ooh. Now I loved it sleeping.
Right.
Like I
cool, because you can blanket up.
Yeah, but it's the moment you get out to go to the bathroom or get up for the day, and you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. The worst is the moment, the very split second after I turn the shower off, when all of the cold that's like still in the house like collects in the bathroom. Yeah, that's the worst.
Well, now I've become thankful for that lamp in our bathroom. Like we have a light, your vanity light or whatever there, but we have one of those where you put it's like a heat lamp. It's okay. You put one of those
like the 125
floody lights, whatever it is up there that invokes some heat, and it's a pretty this week, like in shower and bath time, especially having the cold, I've appreciates the fact that when I open the shower curtain there to get out,
nice heat
I'm
lamp.
like, hey, it's kind of nice here.
Yeah.
I kind of, I don't feel like, quick, give me the towel.
You and Allsup's Burritos are basically just kind of having the same experience, just hanging out under a heat lamp.
Yeah, it was nice. It's not bad. I recommend having that in the house.
Yeah, it's definitely a feature.
It's the first house I've had that's had that. That had the, like I've stayed at places that have even fancier, like heated tiles. You ever stayed at a house?
I've never stayed at a place like I've heard of them.
Yeah, I've done that. Matter of fact, I think one of the houses my in-laws had, they've moved a lot. But I want to say one of the houses they had in over the years had like heated tiles in the bathroom or the kitchen.
That feels like a flex. It's like, there's heated tiles here.
My in-laws are affluent. They got.
Yeah, well, I'd imagine.
He's a CPA. How many broke CPAs do you know?
I'm just saying, yeah.
Or retired.
Heated
CPA.
tiles sound nice, but wear an extra pair of socks. It's so much cheaper.
Yeah, but like it's handy when you're in the bathroom.
Sure.
When you're desocked and you're getting in a tub or
plan ahead. Keep your sleep shoes or your night shoes, house shoes, whatever, right there next to the shower. Slide in.
In all fairness, when I experience these, it's not my own home, so I don't have all of my stuff. And when I go visit people, I don't bring things like my slippers, and and to be honest, I don't even wear my slippers very often. I have them, but unless it's uber cold, I don't wear them.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I have house shoes. I very rarely break them out.
Yeah, and I still call them slippers. Like my wife, she wears hers religiously and calls them house shoes.
It feels silly to me to come home, come out of one pair of shoes, and then put another pair on. It's very like Mr. Rogers, adjacent.
Yeah, I lose shoes, and then I'm usually in socks. That's usually when I'm done for the day, I get home, I'm socking it up.
Yeah, I remember when I first got my first place. The process was front door, shoes, socks, pants, underpants, shirt, bed.
Well, I'm married. I don't have
a nice
that.
trail of clothes. And then you wake up the next day and it's all laid out for you.
Yeah.
Just throw the same thing on. Give it a quick smell test.
Go
and throw
reverse.
It back on. That was my 20s.
Yeah. Well, I had the military creep into my brain a little bit on that one. So we got trained in things like your night displays and all that, where you have to lay out your uniform for the next day, but you put it on the hanger and it's got to be a certain way. So in theory, when they start screaming at you at 0400 to get your butt out of bed, it's right there. You jump in it and you're ready to start your day of training. But so that, I'm not saying I don't have a night display where alarm goes off and I'm like, move it. I'm putting on shirts.
Mike wakes up every morning to reveille.
But, I do kind of keep something aside. They're like, I'm going to wear that, or I'm going to wear this tomorrow.
I try to. I mean, I intend to. I just very rarely work out.
Not that I have any fashion sense or look at me. I got a black long sleeve T-shirt and a pair of workout pants that, like I work out. They're comfortable.
Right.
And they don't require buttoning or a belt, so I wear them.
I cannot tell you how awkward I felt all day yesterday walking around in sweatpants.
Yeah?
Just because I was like, I just felt like having sweatpants, but I was so self-conscious of it.
Yeah.
The whole day.
I do this a lot.
It's just not my my look. Usually it's just shirt and jeans.
When you get older, you don't care about these things. It's going to be amazing. Mm-hmm. I wear jeans rarely now because I feel like it's too fancy, too highfalutin, because I'm such a lazy bum. All right, it is 8 o'clock. Town Hall News up next. We got a busy hour next hour, so don't go away. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Shells have rained down by the hundreds along the tense front lines in eastern Ukraine. And correspondent Charles Deladesma says it's not only shells that are flying, charges and countercharges going back and forth as well.
Separatist authorities in the Luhansk and Donetsk regions say there has been shelling by Ukrainian forces along the tense line of contact. Ukrainian officials charge that the rebels have intensified shelling in the hopes of provoking a retaliatory attack by government forces. Fears persist. Such violence could spark a wider conflict.
The Russian Defense Ministry unveiling plans to step up military exercises to include the firing of cruise and ballistic missiles tomorrow. One U.S. senator says an invasion of Ukraine would prove a foreign relations disaster for Moscow.
The whole world is watching right now.
Senator Bill Hagerty says one example is Japan, which has been continually pressed by Vladimir Putin in recent years.
Russian planes have been buzzing Japanese territory on a regular basis for years and years.
Hagerty says Japan's prime minister is now very much in line with the U.S. on Russian aggression.
In terms of rejecting any action by Putin to unilaterally change the status quo there by force.
Hagerty believes an invasion by the Russians now may prove to be a foreign relations setback for years to come. Bob Agnew reporting.
Congressman Chip Roy is disappointed. The Texas Republican, an outspoken critic of vaccine mandates, is lamenting Senate approval of a stopgap spending bill that does not include amendments dealing with vax mandates. The House Freedom Caucus had appealed to Senate Republicans to stand against funding for the enforcement of vaccine requirements. Stocks higher on Wall Street. The Dow is up 44 points, the Nasdaq ahead 8, and the S&P trading 10 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
Hong Kong's chief executive says elections to choose a new leader will be postponed as the Chinese territory fights its worst outbreak of COVID-19.
Carrie Lam said she would use an emergency law to postpone the selection process for her successor. The city's in the grip of a major outbreak, which has filled hospitals to capacity. Images of infected patients being treated outside hospital buildings have flooded the internet. However, with the help of hotel operators, officials say that an extra 20,000 quarantine rooms have now been secured. From Beijing, Xi Jinping said Hong Kong's overriding mission was to stabilize and control the spread of the virus.
The BBC's Stephen McDonald. The first African countries selected to receive the technology needed to produce mRNA vaccines against COVID are Egypt, Kenya, Nigeria, Senegal, South Africa, and Tunisia. News and analysis at townhall.com. The feds launching yet another investigation of Tesla.
This time it's tied to complaints that its cars can stop on roads for no apparent reason. The government says it has 354 complaints from owners during the past 9 months about phantom braking in Tesla's Models 3 and Y. The probe covers an estimated 416,000 vehicles from the 2021 and 2022 model years. No crashes or injuries were reported. The cars and SUVs have partially automated driver assist features that allow them to automatically brake and steer in their lanes. Keith Peters reporting.
The World Health Organization says public health officials in Malawi have detected a case of polio in the southern African country's capital. It's another setback in ongoing efforts to eradicate the highly infectious paralytic disease worldwide. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2. I'm not sure if they're going to come in or not. We'll see. You know what? I'm gonna get Bill to do it. Would you like the honor of saying the deuce, Bill?
The deuce.
There it is.
Not as well. But didn't do it as well, but I was okay.
You did excellent. There was bass to it. It was good. It was concise. You did an excellent job.
Yes.
Thank you, Bill. Welcome to hour number 2 of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to it. You made it. You deserve a pat on the back. And, hey, I'll give you a place to go get your pat on the back. 10 o'clock this morning, the South Main McDonald's finally is going to have a grand opening. And we can all come and enjoy McDonald's on the south end without having to go all the way north. 5 minutes up the road. We can, now.
It's closer to work.
Yeah, it is. You guys, this is a big win for you. It's like you can slip in there real quick on the way to county commission meetings or any other county business or anything like that. So, but 10 a.m. this morning, they'll officially be open, grand opening celebration. They're starting with the lunch menu. So 10 a.m. you can come and grab burgers and stuff. So there's a little bonus too, because 10:30 is the magic switch number, where that time where they're like. Yes. 10:31, want an Egg McMuffin, they give you sorry, it's lunch. You're like, no! Well, now you'll be like, it's 10 o'clock. Guess what? I just got a quarter pounder. What's up?
It's 12 o'clock somewhere.
That's right. But today, come on out for the grand opening. Come see the new facilities, the playland, everything there. They will open normal, regular McDonald's hours tomorrow. So they'll start with the breakfast menu Saturday morning. So if you've got family activities or going out camping, hunting, whatever you're going to be doing on your Saturday, you can swing by that McDonald's in the morning there and get your McMuffins and
get your Big Mac fix.
That's right. Get your eat on there. But 10 a.m. this morning, coming out for the grand opening there. We got a busy hour here. We've got County Commissioner Dara Dana with us. We also have County Manager Bill Williams join us. They're going to sit and talk with us. Yesterday was County Commission meeting, and I kind of perused the agenda there, and there are quite a few
lots of resolutions,
roads and stuff like that talking about. So we're gonna give all the highlights from yesterday's County Commission meeting here in just a few. At 8:30 ish, we're gonna have Congresswoman Yvette Harrell call in. You guys are more invited, welcome to stay and hang out if you want. But we're gonna get an update from Congresswoman on you see what's going on in Congress. It's more of that. So we get to learn a little bit more about that. I invite you to, she joined us It was probably about a month ago, but back in January. And we talked a little bit more about the redistricting back then. So if you really want to hear thoughts on that, I invite you to go back and check out on that because Chavez County, well, you guys know.
Yeah, we've just passed a resolution opposing the congressional districts.
But we're going to be one, if not, I don't know, how many counties. Well, I didn't know how many counties shared this experience like us, like if we're the only county that's got all 3 districts in it or not, or if there's other counties. But I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess there's probably not many counties that have all 3 congressional districts.
All 3 congressional districts. The town's split with 2. It's a mess.
It's so it's needless to say, these election cycles are going to get very interesting in Chavez County.
Yes.
You're going to get to see, people from up north that you never see come down here. You're going to start seeing them knocking on doors and visiting people down here.
If they will.
Maybe. Although they might have to. Because I got to imagine we're going to be in play if we're going to, you know what I mean?
We'll have to see the numbers.
Yeah, I kind of...
Well, if they don't knock on doors here, there's a pretty good chance that we'll end up with 3 representatives from our own area.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes.
That would be nice.
That would be very nice.
Team us.
Yes. Yep.
That'll never happen. That's fantasy talk. But yeah, we'll talk county commission. Imagine also... if we got time, I want to, since legislative session just ended yesterday, we're going to get, unfortunately, I talked with Greg Nybert. They were going to join us. They were in session for 48 hours straight or something. So they were on the floor at the time.
It was
so
crazy.
I didn't get a chance to chat back with him till after the show, but we'll get them on next week sometime.
When they wake up.
Yeah, when they get a little rest. And let them kind of give us the recap of the legislative session there. But if we got any thoughts from your perspective on that, we'd love to hear that too. It is 11 minutes after 8. Let's do weather and a quick break, a minute and a half break, and then I know it's our clock this hour is a little bit weird, but I want to make sure we get everybody in. So we're going to do weather and a quick break, and then we'll talk county business with Bill and Dara here, and then we'll just talk till the bell rings, till the bell rings, and it's the Congresswoman. So that's kind of the plan here. Quick break. Don't go away. We'll be back. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll be on a warming trend this weekend with high pressure setting up over eastern New Mexico. We've got fair conditions expected today, about 60 for the afternoon high, and we should get sunshine all day, down to 25 and clear for the overnight hours, and then a little bit warmer on Saturday, mid-60s and sunny, a big boost on our daytime high on Sunday, mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Roswell Skin Center, a brand new state-of-the-art facility located in the 400 Penn Plaza building here in Roswell, is now accepting new patients. Dr. Brandon Cometti and his team offer a full range of skin care services, including general dermatology, surgical and cosmetic procedures, including cutting-edge laser rejuvenation, Botox, filler, laser hair removal, chemical peels, and other non-invasive options to improve skin health and turn back the hands of time. Call and schedule your appointment at Roswell Skin Center today, 208-2509. That's 208-2509. Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
It's a new year, and the progressives in Santa Fe are trying to get their claws into Roswell. Governor Grinch has her best buddy in Roswell running for mayor. In Roswell, we are proud of our families, our industry, our traditions, and our values. We can't let the Santa Fe gang take over our community. In the Roswell municipal election on March 1st, vote to keep Roswell open, to keep Roswell independent, and to keep Roswell free. Let's keep Kintai as our mayor.
This is Dennis Kintai, and I approve of this ad.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. U-Haul is the world's largest advertiser in the Yellow Pages. Too bad millennials don't know what the Yellow Pages are. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:14. Now we can do the official opening. This makes it official here. Joining us in the studio this morning from Chavez County, we have County Commissioner Dara Dana and County Manager Bill Williams with us.
Good morning.
Good morning, fellas, folks, ladies. How is everybody doing today?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Good. I
Little
know.
chilly.
It is, but it's nicer than yesterday.
I
So
don't
we
know.
can't-
It was 16 out at our
Yeah.
place. That was a little
yeah.
chilly.
Well, it's supposed to get 60 some today.
Yes.
So
Hopefully
even though
it
you don't
will.
feel it now, by
Yes.
this afternoon you're going to be thinking,
Yes.
okay, it's a little
I'm
bit
just
nicer.
tired of the wind and the dust.
Yeah.
That kicked my butt Wednesday.
Well, it keeps messing with us. They'll give us
Ugh.
this beautiful day of
Yes.
70s and sunny, and then just when you get comfortable with that, they turn around and drop a
Yes.
30-degree, 50-mile-an-hour wind day on you. So
Yep.
welcome to New Mexico.
Yes.
Well, yesterday the county commission did meet.
Yes, we did. It was Resolution Thursday. That's what I called it.
A lot of resolving to do things.
Yes. Yes.
Which is good because really at the end of the day, that's what the county commission does is make things happen and be where's the money going, where's it spent, how that's what the county commission is there to do.
It's a way for us to voice, and especially with Santa Fe and Washington D.C. with the majorities that they have and the way it is going. This is about the only way that we can kind of make our voice heard.
Sure.
For Chavez County, and people don't understand that.
Mhm.
They're like, well, why don't you do this, this, and this? Well, we can't. We're in the minority in Santa Fe and in Washington, D.C. But
This is your
we
official
pass-
stance on an
exactly.
issue. Yeah.
And two, people don't realize when Yvette Harrell is in Washington, D.C., or our legislators are in Santa Fe, they can hold these resolutions up and say, well, back in our home district, we have support from our county commissions and stuff, because that's one thing that being in Santa Fe, and being in Washington, D.C., they'll say, well, we didn't hear from anybody, so therefore we assume everything
must
is
be
okay.
okay.
It must be okay.
And Commissioner
Yes.
Cavan and I just got back from Washington, D.C. The National Association of Counties actually got back Wednesday just in time for Resolution Thursday. And the Waters of the U.S. is one of the resolutions that we talked about yesterday. And the National Association of Counties, we put forth the very same resolution saying, hey, you need to get this stuff going. And that came from people throughout the West mostly. Well, actually, the Waters of the U.S. actually has quite a bit of support even back east because it's such a disaster, allowing the EPA to take over so much stuff. We'll get into that later. But we presented a resolution based on all of our counties' resolutions, and then they take that forward. So it has, it gets their attention when all the counties in the U.S. come to Congress and say, hey, you need to do something here.
Well, it's kind of the same reason why we always tell to write your legislators, in Santa Fe, say to tell them your opinion on a certain bill or a certain issue. It's the same concept. They're using it as ammunition to make the fight in the legislature for that.
And sometimes you feel like this is going on deaf ears. You do a resolution, it's like they don't care.
But it does.
But
it does.
Sometimes it does.
It does.
Sometimes it's exactly what they need to hear and the support that they need to carry it forward.
And I would imagine you probably get a little more headway in election years.
Well, and we
than you
saw
do
it.
non-election years.
We see it in Santa Fe and here too. The phone calls, the letters. The one thing I will tell everybody is don't do, the postcard that, AARP or whoever sends out.
The generic.
Because I will ask, I'll call and ask, do you know what what is this about?
Do you know what
Explain
you're
it to me.
complaining
And they
about?
don't.
Yeah.
They don't. If you give a phone call or you send a letter, make it personalized.
Absolutely.
And we saw during this last session, especially with quite a few bills, boy, they were blowing up the phones and the emails.
Good.
And it did have an impact.
It does.
It had a great impact this last session.
At the end of the day, and regardless, Democrat, Republican, whatever, they answer to the people. That's the job of an elected official, county commissioner to state legislature to president, on up. That's just how it works.
And Dara has served in all of those except for president, I believe.
Yes, I haven't done that
Well, that's
yet.
next. President Dana.
I don't think so.
But and that's that, and sometimes we got to remember now. Don't be a jerk, but at the same time,
yes.
Stand firm in your convictions and be polite and concise and this is why I always tell people when it comes to elections and everything else, if you're using social media as your platform for learning things, you're probably only getting one side of the picture.
Yes.
You're not
Absolutely.
getting not getting all the details. You're getting all the emotion, but not so much the logic.
Right.
And it's no different here. If you come presenting logic and actual meat of issues, that's going to go a lot farther than you saying, you suck, this is dumb.
Exactly. And we get a lot of that. Social media has really, and I tell people, social media is social.
Yeah.
So take in consideration.
Yeah, it's a
what
valuable
they're
tool,
saying.
but at the same time, it
can be.
It's not anything official.
Yes, true. But yes, we passed a lot of resolutions yesterday.
Very good.
And
well, let's talk about a few of those. Let's highlight some of the ones we definitely want to put on people's radar here.
Okay, well, I mentioned earlier we opposed the congressional districts because, Chaves County is now broken up into 3 separate congressional districts. The largest municipality, of course, City of Roswell, were broken into 2 separate congressional districts. And, we just don't feel like that was a very fair way of dividing up our state, saying that the agriculturalists in the South Valley and Albuquerque represent the agricultural values in Chaves County because it's a different dynamic.
Sure.
My daughter lives up there, and there's a Walmart directly across the street from an alfalfa field. I guarantee you that value of that farmland there is a whole lot different than the value of the farmland here.
Sure. Well,
they're just waiting for the offer to come in to build the Sam's or whatever.
Well, just depending on what district you live in the city of Roswell alone, you're also sharing the same congressional district as Albuquerque proper.
Right.
And I'm not a math wizard, but there's, a lot more people in Albuquerque than there is in this district of Roswell.
Yes.
So that, we already know their ideology.
Right.
So you kind of canceled out anything that these people think because their representation isn't going to address that.
Well, now that we don't really have local news networks like we used to have, all we get is the Albuquerque news. All we hear is their values and their input. We seldom get to hear what we have to say. We are fortunate that they do have reporters and stuff that address our local issues, but we get 2 minutes of the news, whereas Albuquerque gets the rest of it and tells us what we should be thinking.
Well, and I'm curious, like they say this is supposed to make it more, where everyone's represented here, and I guess, you could make that case maybe, but that's assuming people's ideologies change. You almost have to, you know what I mean? It would. So are you saying that our influence is going to penetrate into Albuquerque now because of this? Right. I don't see that happening.
No.
They seem to think that we're going to convict. They're going to come around to our side now because that's the argument they're giving us basically.
It's total opposite.
And it feels
they want the northern New Mexico influence on southern New Mexico because we don't. They see it all the time in Washington.
We're the thorn in the side.
Yeah. We are. Okay, so you are oil and gas. Thank you very much for oil and gas. I have heard this in committee over and over and over. They'll start out, thank you for the oil and gas, thank you for the money, and then they'll turn around and go, but you suck. You're ruining the environment.
Well,
you're killing birds. You're killing.
And it's easy in the social
spotted owl.
Yeah, and it's easy in the public media to villainize oil and gas.
Yes.
And you got Hollywood helping you out and everything else.
Oh yes.
But I would argue, thank God oil and gas is as powerful as it is.
Yes.
Because they would have been run roughshod over had they not had the power and the the parts we hate about government, the influence side and all that. It's actually working in our favor this way to keep. If that makes sense, what I'm saying is it because oil and gas has a strong lobby, has a strong group fighting for them in D.C. That's the only reason why we have a thorn in this side. You
know what the largest lobbyist that came to Santa Fe first rattle out of the bat the first day that you are in Santa Fe. It isn't oil and gas. It isn't the lobbyist that you think of. It's NEA, the National Education Association, and they walk in your office and they tell you this is how it's and more money, and no to school vouchers.
Yeah, they are
they're very powerful.
They are.
And AARP is too.
Yeah.
But AARP is not a conservative group, as most would think.
Yeah.
They finally got on board with the Social Security tax elimination. Finally. It took them a while to get them to even. And it's like you're a senior.
It's like you're representing seniors. Why would you not? Oh, yes. Our seniors should pay more money.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to get behind that.
For social programs. It's amazing to me, the lobbyists that were, I was just amazed.
Yeah, that's just dumb.
Yeah, and that's why I tell everybody, you are a lobbyist.
Mhm.
You are an individual lobbyist. You go to Santa Fe, you go to Washington, D.C., or you call because you are the first lobbyist in line, and you should be the first lobbyist in line.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because, it's one of those things, and we need to remind, and I think that's part of it too. And this is maybe where it's a political party thing, both sides. I'm not trying to one or the other. We need to remind these parties that you don't work for your party, you work for us.
Yes.
And I feel like, especially when you get in the upper echelons, Congress, Senate, those levels.
Yes. I don't know you.
Yeah, they've gone through the gauntlet, and they've been jaded, and whatever values and principles they had to aspire to be that kind of gets ripped away, or
and they get an ego like, I know more than you do.
Yes.
How dare you try to tell me, you bunch of corn pones?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm superior.
Yeah.
And that's not true.
Absolutely.
You represent us, like it or not.
And your vote is
who
the
we
one
are. And
place.
this is what we want.
Yes.
That's the one thing they pay attention to, and the power is there. So
Yes,
please,
it is.
I know
Please
we
get
got
out and vote.
soapboxy here, but educate yourself in this municipal election, and
Right.
of course our primary and
Yes.
general election here later this
Coming
year.
up. Yes.
Definitely do your homework and do your research.
So another group, as long as we're on the soapbox, another group that gets a bad rap from politicians and environmentalists and everyone are the farmers and ranchers. It's not just oil and gas that takes all the heat. Farmers and ranchers have become a target now.
Again, they want the product, but they don't like the manner in which they get it.
I'll go to the
Yep.
grocery store and buy my food. You know,
Yeah, because
Well,
that's where it magically shows up. We got a ferry that just waves a wand.
Good luck. And,
Steak and milk shows up on the
those
shelf.
farting cows, are
Yeah.
ruining our environment.
Right.
And,
Right.
I wonder what happened when there were literally millions of buffalo on the plains. Did they not create a problem? Apparently not. That only happened when, agriculturalists came in and started ranching and feeding those cows beans or whatever, making them
Yes.
excessively fart. But one of the things that has been under attack, farmers and ranchers, and one of the things that we've passed a resolution on yesterday is waters of the U.S. It's a very complicated thing. The Supreme Court has told them 4 times to go back and figure this out. So they rescinded the 2020 rule for, the navigable waters of the U.S.
Okay.
rule. And the whole problem with the whole WOTUS, they have to define waters of the U.S., and the acronym is WOTUS. If your water line to your stock tank in your corral were to break, you know what happens when a water line breaks? You get a little ditch dug. It may only be a couple inches deep, and that water flows to the lowest point downhill and all. They are trying to make that to where it has to be regulated because there's a nexus with a navigable waterway. We're 1,000 miles from any place that can be navigated, the ocean.
Right.
But what they want to say is that any farm activity that creates a drain of water, a ephemeral water stream, temporary water. For instance, if your sprinkler blows out, like say the line to your water tank blows and that water flows, eventually, say that because it's in your corral, it picks up some nitrates from the cow manure, those darn bad cows again, picks up some nitrates, and that flows down to the dry riverbed here in New Mexico. Eventually, it's going to rain, and when it rains, then it's going to carry that nitrate further down the deal and join with a body of water like the Pecos or the Rio Grande. Eventually, it ends up out in the ocean and might hurt a whale. Well, first of all, that amount of nitrate that's in that water is going to be very minimal.
Right.
And I understand we're not talking like a huge feedlot
Sure.
or the factories, like I don't remember what movie it was where they're dumping all their waste in the river. And of course that goes right out to the ocean,
Sure.
creates a lot of problems. They're talking about having to have a government 404 permit from the Army Corps of Engineers for any type of thing, including the bar ditches on the side of the road. So now before the county can go and maintain the roads, they have to get a 404 permit.
Oh, gee.
You know how long it takes to get any kind of permit from the federal government? We would be out of luck.
This is the
And then they're
dumbest-
going to come and
Yeah.
inspect it and make sure that you're not going to contaminate anything and make sure, this just stupidity on steroids.
Like when I hear this, the next thing I think is next they're going to have an inspector to come and measure the amount of dead skin on your mattress to decide whether it's time to replace it or not. I mean,
and find out if you tore off that tag that says do not remove under penalty of law.
It's like because it's a grave environmental risk with all that dead skin in there.
But the Environmental Protection Agency is the agency that's responsible for doing this. So they've gone back and forth trying to determine what the waters of the U.S. are, navigable waters, and the nexus of these waters, coming from temporary storm flows, storm drains. There are so many components to this that they're saying, well, we might need to inspect that. We might need to watch that.
Yeah.
And again, I just feel like it's an attack on agriculture and farming.
Yes. This is
a big part of it is anyway.
This is just a nitpick control thing, and it's like,
and
we're going to keep you busy with this while we do other things over here.
That's what the 2020 rule kind of had it in check. They said, okay, these waters, agriculture, these ephemeral streams and temporary stream flows just based on precipitation events, those aren't counted.
Mm-hmm.
Those are excluded. There's agricultural exemptions all throughout there. There's exemptions for bar ditches on roads. All those things were in place in 2020. But when the new administration came in, guess what? Oh, those other people put that in. I don't care if it makes sense or not. We're throwing it out.
It's not our idea, not our thing. We want it gone.
So now we're back to what they call the 1986 rule that's up in the air. Nobody knows what any of it means. And the Supreme Court has already thrown out that rule that once it was expanded and turned into the 2015 rule. I don't know. It's just a big mess. But anyway, we came out opposing the changes or the negation, I guess, of the 2020 rule for navigable waters and the definition or the evolving definition of waters of the U.S. So
gotcha.
So it was a complicated one. It was very difficult to write that resolution.
Sure.
There's so much.
We got to get the wording just right.
Oh,
and,
man.
Yes.
And I guess this is why the lawyers get the big bucks, right? Is to make the wording just right and make sure.
But that's one that absolutely shows you the dysfunction that we have.
Sure.
If the other group put it in, I'm taking it out. Mm-hmm. And I don't care how it hurts America. Yeah. I don't care if it means you can't maintain your roads. I don't care.
It feeds my ego and proves that I'm in charge.
Yeah.
It's amazing how divided. Yeah. Watching the state legislature.
So is there any help from the state level for when you guys make these resolutions? I mean, I'm sure there's other counties in concert with you, but is there anything from Santa Fe saying, we'll back you on this? I mean, is there any of that going on at all?
It just depends. I mean, they'll pass resolutions and stuff, memorials, resolutions,
if it's
and things
blatantly
like that.
bad, they'll get on board with it.
Yeah, but, it just depends on,
Sure. Well, it's all politics.
And again, like I said, we went to the National Association of Counties. The local government are the ones that if we make enough noise, the lower the level is, if we make enough noise, they do finally listen. And National Association of Counties actually does have a lot of push. And
that's your real saving grace,
Once we
discuss this with all the groups, and it, there are liberal people in National Association of Counties, because, I mean, it's from all over the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, I've been to 2 county fairs and a goat rope and never seen some of the stuff I see at National Association of Counties. But anyway, we were able to, through several different committees and conversations we had about waters of the U.S., we got the full support, and they passed a resolution. Well, those resolutions go directly out, to Congress, to the president, and they like to say, we've got the support of National Association of Counties. So those things do help, but I want to remind people local government is where it's at.
Sure.
Yes.
Well, that's
be sure and contact your commissioners and
that's
let
where
them
the
know.
real power is, because at the end of the day, you're the elected officials.
And
elected officials always take precedent over appointed officials.
And
it should.
And as long as we stand firm, because the real power is in local government, and most of the government agencies are required by their own rules to coordinate with local governments anytime they're doing a new plan or whatever. Now, they try to circumvent that process. In fact, we just had a very similar thing. I think we talked about it last time with the Forest Service. And I know that
the wisdom of the forest.
That Congresswoman Harrell is going to be on next hour, and I want to thank her right here now publicly. She got on board with us with a conference call with the Forest Service, and I mean, she really was involved. She understood the situation. She got in.
Good.
She was all in and supported us. And we're not talking just Chaves County in this particular battle. It's Chaves, Eddy, Lincoln, and Otero counties are all four facing the potential of possibly as much as 403,000 acres of wilderness area just thrown at us, and we had no say in any of it. And
I would imagine, especially like Lincoln County, where they probably got a larger percentage of it in their county. They're going to be.
We have a very small amount in our counties, but Eddy County, you got the Guadalupe,
Eddy,
and Otero County. It looks like a checkerboard when you look at the maps of what they want to take over as wilderness area. Lincoln County already has 2 wilderness areas, and they're expanding those probably by 4 times. Or that's a potential issue.
Well, we looks like our Congresswoman is on the phone here. Let me do this. It's okay. Let's pause for news real quick. I'm going to talk with her, and then we'll have everybody back on the other side here. So
thank you.
Quick 1-minute news update. We'll be back. She just hung up. I got to call her back.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update. New details in the disturbing story in Carlsbad, where an Albuquerque man is charged with raping a store clerk and then getting into a standoff with police after the woman was able to escape. 37-year-old Kenneth Miller is being held for a slew of charges. Mayor Dale Janway released a statement Thursday to clear up some confusion in the community. He said that Miller remains in jail and that rumors that he was released are not true. Janway said Miller had been released from custody on an unrelated case on February 13th. He was rearrested for the current charges later that day. A project to remove old pavement on a section of South Sunset Avenue and replace it with new pavement is scheduled to begin Monday in Roswell. The pavement rehab work on Sunset will begin at Brasher Road and move north to Poe Street. The contractor replacing the pavement on the full width of the street, but a complete closure of Sunset is not expected during the project. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Turtles can breathe through their butts. We imagine you know some people who do that too, because that's where their heads reside. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 8:35 false alarm. Sorry about that. I had a call, and I should have paid attention to the area code and everything. It was a local number, so it was not Congresswoman Yvette Harrell, so I apologize for cutting you off mid-thought there. But hopefully she'll be calling in the next few minutes.
Well, we're really thankful for Congresswoman Harrell and look forward to a long relationship with her as well.
I also understand that, she is a Congresswoman and 20 things going on, and even though we're on the schedule, things happen. So we may not hear from her. We may, but we'll see here. We'll play it by ear. So we were right in the middle of talking about Forest Service stuff there.
I think we kind of covered that. We covered it last time. Like I say, just wanted to give a shout out to Congresswoman Harrell more than anything on that particular subject. Other things that we did yesterday, we did a, what do they call it, inducement resolution for Next Era Solar to do a 30 megawatt expansion on the local thing. It's
solar farm?
The solar farm has to do with them having the ability to purchase the industrial revenue bonds. We have to give permission, and it's a big legal thing.
And just to kind of give people, that's been a good thing for the county, right? I mean, the setting up of this solar farm, and as far as revenue-wise, has that been a good thing for the county, or has it been a fight?
Well, we do get a payment in lieu of taxes. When they do the industrial revenue bonds, we have to negotiate how much they're going to pay us. Now, with that being said, it is pretty much a negotiated lower amount. But it's steady. We know it's coming for the next 30 years.
Sure.
And in this case, the commissioners started negotiating with them. They came in with their first offer, and they, don't even put that in writing because we're not going to accept it.
We laugh at that offer.
We know what you paid us last time. We don't care what you paid other counties. We don't care what other municipalities are getting. This is Chaves County. We're different. We understand how it works. So they came in with their second offer, and it was okay. Countered with another offer. They've claimed that they're falling over, didn't expect anything nearly so. But anyway, long story short, over the period of a 30-year IRB, they negotiated, I believe it was it $620,000 or $630,000? I think it was $630,000.
I think so.
$1,000 increase over the life of the IRB. And this is just for a small part of the solar farm. It doesn't include the first part, which was paid at a much larger amount. They're telling us that, everything's gone down in price and you're not going to get anywhere near what you did. But they actually did pretty good getting close. when we got to the point where they were going to walk away from the table, then we started negotiating. Well, let's talk about the length of the bond. Instead of going the full 30 years, the other bonds were bought 6 years ago. If we could make them all terminate at the same time, in 24 years rather than 30, we can live with this amount that you had. We're trying to get a little more, but at some point, it's a poker game. So I mean, you don't want to. You don't want to fold too soon. You don't want to fold too soon at the same time. But they did a good job making sure that the county got an additional, like I say, $630,000. I think it was.
Sure. I'm kind of curious, and this is probably more a question for you, Dara. Whenever you get these negotiations and things, is it trickier doing that in the public eye like that? Where, I mean, obviously you guys have closed sessions where you need to talk to the lawyers and things when it comes with some of the nut and bolts of the detail. But the actual negotiation part is kind of right there in front of everybody. I mean, does that change the conversation a little bit for you guys? Or
I don't think so. It hasn't with us. I mean, it's kind of, I like it because it kind of tells the public.
See, everybody sees everything.
A lot of people don't understand, IRBs and stuff like that it is an investment.
Sure.
They're investing in Chaves County, and Chaves County's investing in them.
Sure.
So, you hear a lot of stuff. Well, why are we using tax dollars? Why are we using this? Why are we... And it's an investment. It's a relationship that you have with the company.
And those IRBs, it's now a percentage of the total amount that go to the schools. But I mean, every school district gets a cut of that.
Sure.
That's within the area where they do it. Every school district gets it. So it's very important that we not just, whatever you want.
Sure.
Right.
Because we're not going to do it. In fact, I told them specifically, we don't care what you paid Valencia County. That makes no difference. This is Chaves County. And so, it's all a game.
Sure.
Kind of.
Well, yeah, and they're trying to, and both sides are trying to get as much as they can from the other. That's natural here. And, but I think a lot of us are used to seeing that stuff kind of between two businesses and, behind closed doors, kind of, we get the images like you see on insert Netflix TV show here, kind of imagery. And it's a little different to that when we talk with government deals.
And that's what's nice about it. Yeah, trying to be transparent and open and stuff.
But I didn't know if that kind of handcuffed you all a little bit, or does it give you more strength from that side? Or?
It just depends. I mean, it depends on the entity. It depends on where
the issue,
where they are, where are they investing? Where are they putting? It's like Ascent Aviation. Look at Ascent Aviation.
Absolutely.
Right next to TMC. I worked out there for 11 and a half years. So I had a wonderful time talking with their CEO, telling them, well, I worked in the building next door, and I know the land where you're putting it, and it's got a lot of history, with Walker Air Force Base and stuff. And he was just fascinated. He said, they think they're just buying a piece of land, dirt.
And
they don't realize
means more than that to us.
To us, it does. It does.
Yeah, this is our home.
Yes.
And that's
the difference. Why we want the relationship.
Yeah.
We don't want, we're kind of getting tired of the fly-by-nights. You come in here, you say you're going to invest in the community.
Promise big deals, wear your slick suits.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're out of here. And we're left hanging with a empty building or land that's not. So that's why we're really trying to make sure that if you're serious about coming to Chaves County and investing, well, we're going to vet you. You're vetting us, but we're going to vet you too.
This is kind of getting off topic, but I'm fascinated, so I got to ask this. Because we're Chaves County, because we're southeast of Mexico, we're rural, we're a good old boy. You know what I mean? We got the image of country, and maybe dumb and aloof and uneducated. You know what I mean? Whatever stereotypes they associate with farmers, ranchers, country folk. Do you see that when you get like say these companies or these entities and they're from New York City or wherever big time place they're from, and
well they find out pretty quick that we're a lot more sophisticated than they give us credit for.
That's right.
People don't understand. People think that New Mexico is like they see on the Wile E. Coyote cartoon. It's just a bunch of saguaro cactus and Roadrunner and a cow, nothing else.
That a lot. I was
but
wondering.
When they get here, they find out that not only is our topography different, but our people are just as intelligent as they are.
Like, do they come in thinking like y'all just get internet last week or something?
And we have a lot more common sense than a lot of the other areas of the country too, because we are rural and we do understand the big picture.
Yeah, I just was curious if people come in with their own preconceived notions of and use that to try to use that.
Well, sure. When they come for a site visit or whatever, that's why it's so important to have a strong chamber of commerce, and Andrew Moore does a wonderful job because they're the face of the businesses. Then you have Mike with the EDC.
Mike Spiritu, yeah.
And he's the face of economic development. And that's why it's so important when they come to do the site inspections and I've told Mike and Andrea, both of them.
Sure.
Take them around, show them our museum, show them our bottomless lakes, show them Bitter Lakes, show them the history, not just the UFO museum, which was great. I always did that with candidates because the first thing they do, get off the plane and go, I want to go to the
Where's
UFO.
the crash site?
I will show you the UFO museum, but I'll also show you other things about Chaves County that are absolutely wonderful. And by the time I got done with them, they're like, gosh, I didn't know that. There's more to Chaves County than just UFOs.
So much more,
There is.
Come for the aliens, stay for all the other culture and art and history.
We're so rich in history. It's amazing, and I'll tell them while I'm driving. I got to do it with Senator Pete Domenici and another senator one day. I just drove them around. I had to go drive them to a fundraiser, but I talked about Chaves County. Did you know? You know, in my district, I had more dairy cows than I had voters in my district. So, you know, I give them little tidbits about Chaves County because I want them to leave knowing that we are a part of the United States and we're an absolutely exceptional part.
Yeah. And I always like to hit them with the Billy the Kid stuff because I'm like, back in the Lincoln County Wars, we were actually Lincoln County back then. And so this is Billy the Kid territory. Now, the town of Lincoln's were a lot of but certainly some of the Chisholm. I mean, there was a lot of that in this area.
Well, if you've ever watched the John Wayne movie Chisholm, you know that John Chisholm could ride from his ranch into the heart of Lincoln in about 2 minutes.
That's right.
So,
That's right. And his statue's right here, so you know.
Yes.
That local history is just, as I get older, it's more and more exciting because you can tie it to a real place and see that stuff. And that's exactly what I like to do when I take people out to show them whether they're dignitaries or just friends. Hey, let me show you this. This is really cool.
Yeah. Well, and to me, I love the POWMIA, the German, that side of our history,
where I live.
Yeah.
It's not too far from I live. Blackdom is not too far from I live.
We had two CCC camps in Roswell. You know, the things that they built and did.
Yes. Yeah, you're talking about turn of the century history and, nuclear age with the Walkerization and the Cold War.
Yes.
I mean, New Mexico, southeast New Mexico, Roswell, Chaves County, you take almost every era of U.S. history. We've had a hand in it in some way, shape, or form, pretty much, from Civil War on,
Yes. And that's why, I want people to learn and know the history. I want them to know about Chaves County, and I want them to know about what their government is doing to make sure that you keep up. I don't mind the phone calls and everything, but make sure that you know what you're talking about, or let me talk to you about why we're doing this or whatever. You got there's a reason for it. Come sit in on our
county commission meetings.
County commission meetings are open to the public, and I love it when we have. But know, that there is a decorum, there is respect, and we have lost a lot of that over the years, especially the respect.
Well, our emotions have run high the last couple of years.
Yes, they have, very much
deservedly so. Let's face it.
Absolutely.
These last couple of years have stunk for all Americans.
Oh, yes.
There's not one American on the planet, I think, or person on the planet that said these last 3 years have not been good.
Right.
But that being said, we still have to live life. We still have to live in a civilized world.
Yes.
We have to live with law and order, civilization. I know, especially depending on what age you are, you grew up watching 80 movies and Rambo and Silverado, and where vigilante justice seems pretty sexy.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
But in the real world, that's why those are movies, and this is the real world. You can't do that, especially in local, close, where you're literally the people you're talking about. Your odds are pretty good you're going to run into them at lunch or run into them at church or at the grocery store or something.
Well, again, like I say, though, we're a lot more sophisticated than people give us credit for. And And it's just like taking care of your sister, your brothers. We might fight amongst ourselves a little bit, but don't come against us, because we're all a united force. And
like military people, you can make fun of each other branches if you serve, but if you're a civilian and you make fun of it, then it's game on.
Right.
They gang up.
I'm very proud to be from this area, from this community. I grew up in Hagerman, but that doesn't mean that I don't value the people in Dexter and Lake Arthur and north of Roswell and people in Roswell. I mean, we're all of pretty much the same mind,
Yeah, you just happen to set up shop in a different part of the county. That's all.
There's an outsider once in a while. We got to, move along to Santa Fe. But, but for the most part, we're all on the same page. And I'm proud to be from here and proud to show it off to people around. So.
Well, and this is something, and this is where the big argument is, globally and nationally here in our country is, we live a certain lifestyle here. We generally, New Mexicans live a little bit more independent lifestyle.
Yes.
We're not ones, especially if you live in Chavez County or more rural counties, Eddy, Lee, these counties here where you don't really have, sometimes it's not unheard of to have a 3-hour drive to go take care of a meal or go get something. So when you have that mindset, generally speaking, those people don't want you micromanaging their lives. They've got it figured out. Let them do it.
And we have a better understanding, I think, of the delicate balance, if you want to call it that, between agriculture. We all understand where our food comes from. We understand how valuable that farm field is out in East Grand Plains.
Rainbows.
And we understand how hard they have to work for that. Yeah. And we understand how undue regulations by the federal government or state government affect us.
Sure.
We understand all these things a lot better than people give us credit for.
Sure.
So,
and the things that can happen locally, as far as water rights, things that all can be handled by the people here locally.
Right.
If there's a dispute between two parties over water, let's let the local people, the local officials, work that. And that's but they want to micromanage all of that. And it's like,
right.
What do you know about what's going on between these two? They don't.
And I'm going to swing us back onto track here, if you don't mind, because I'm trying to cover.
That's why they make you the county manager. We're just,
Well, I'm enjoying this immensely, but I'm sure that we probably better cover a little bit of ground. One of the resolutions that we passed yesterday goes right back to that, understanding our community and trying to make sure that message gets out to Santa Fe or to wherever else. There was a bill in Santa Fe to provide $46 million for funding for design, purchase of rights of way, and things for US 380 from mile marker 158, which is essentially Roswell to the Texas state line.
It's not exactly what we wanted, but it's better than nothing, I guess.
We put out a resolution supporting the funding of $46 million for the design. However, we added, but we think that as long as you're doing this, make it a 4-lane design.
Let's do it right, yeah.
This is we brought up the fact that the tourism that comes through here is very important to our total economy.
Sure.
The trucks and heavy equipment in the oil field, which have paid for the rest of the roads in the state, should be at least having a modern highway to run on.
And to be honest, those are two entities that don't necessarily mix well on the highway.
Right.
Because tourists generally are driving roads that they're unfamiliar with them.
Yes.
Then you add the element, oh, by the way, there's a giant semi right next to me that I want to pass or is riding up my tail here.
And he understands that a truck's coming right over that hill. The guy coming from out of town might not understand that. It was another point we hit on in the resolution is the unnecessary loss of life and property because of this. The economic driver behind it. It's the only road coming into Roswell that's not a 4-lane road.
They even fixed the one to Ruidoso. It took 20 years, but they did.
There are a lot of reasons they need to just say, as long as we're spending this much money, and I'm not saying that we're complaining that they're willing to put any money, that's great that they're willing to do anything, but let's go ahead and take the time, do it right, make sure it's a 4-lane.
I'm curious, and I don't know if you guys have this numbers handy or whatever, but as far as the number of travelers like heading towards Vaughn versus the number of travelers going towards Lubbock in that area, is it roughly the same? Is it more than the other? I know it's out of left field.
Unfortunately, due to poor planning, I didn't have those numbers prior to the resolution.
Ballpark, because
I
did exactly what we got to Vaughn and did that there, that would be perfect. But why was that one justified and this one isn't? That's what I'm trying to
I did inquire, but I don't have those numbers yet. But hopefully I'll have those numbers before the next time we meet, and we'll be able to share that a little bit.
That was just, I know I just came out of left field.
I know a portion of that had to do with the whip funding.
Yes.
When they decided to
Yes.
take the
a lot of that
nuclear
was
waste.
ripped.
Yeah.
But what's sad is the number one goal and the number one job of government of any type is infrastructure.
Sure.
But yet our infrastructure, and that's what I used to tell everybody, when I can't come home from Santa Fe, is there is no road fund.
Mm-hmm.
There is no this fund. It all goes into general fund, and then it goes line by line by line.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, infrastructure is the last. There's, and it's not a priority, and it should
should be the
in the
biggest.
state of New Mexico,
Because without it,
as
we don't
large,
go.
yes,
Yeah.
as large as it's for the economy,
Well-
it's for safety, and this road.
And none
This
of our
is
other
crazy.
industries can happen without that. Like,
Right.
You're talking about
Right.
trucking and food and getting places from one to the other. Well, guess what? Without good highways, without rail systems, without good this stuff, it ain't happening.
It's not happening.
Yeah.
And look how long it took 550. I mean, 550 was horrible, and they finally worked on it. And it's like this is common sense,
Sure.
common sense government. But yet, sorry, but in Santa Fe, sometimes common sense
Absolutely.
lacks.
Sometimes. You're very kind.
Yeah.
Another one that we did that I think was real important is we requested that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers design and construct a gate on the Rocky Dam. Again, it comes right back to our local people knowing what's necessary in our local area.
Sure. Right.
And as far back as 2006, the former Flood Control Commissioner, Morgan Nelson, predicted the exact scenario that we had in letters to the Corps of Engineers. Says we've got 32.7, I believe it is, square miles of uncontrolled drainage area. If we should get a storm, that 32.7 miles uncontrolled drainage area can create over, I think it's 10,000 cubic feet per second of flow. Then on top of that, if you get things on the other side of the dams, you get things on the other side of the dam, and there's no way to shut the water off out of one, so that just exasperates the.
So, what we saw a couple years ago on the south end of town and that part of that, was that a direct result of some of that stuff
Yes,
we're talking
and
about
that's the exact scenario that
Gotcha.
Morgan Nelson had put forward. Says if this were to happen with this, here's kind of the perfect storm. And that's exactly what happened.
And basically did I told you so afterwards here. Because
and so we've requested, if you guys will put a gate on the dam, it'll be open most of the time. However, if there's an event where we need to close it just to minimize that and let it out at a time when it's not going to create damage, it's not going to destroy infrastructure, then we can do that. And I mean, it was... That one was actually pretty easy to write because we had the documentation showing that they've been asking for this for years.
Yeah, it's like, what paper trail do you need? We got it all right here.
And so, we're hopeful that we'll get some footing on that. And, of course, we're sending that to the Corps of Engineers. We've got some, I guess, lieutenant colonels, lieutenant generals. I don't know what their ranks
There's
are.
both. They have both of those. So.
That are supposed to be interested in what our thoughts are.
Well, good.
So,
well, hopefully that makes some headway there and
so.
Get that
because
fixed.
you never know. I mean, we all said, the 100-year flood and all this, and the way our cycles have been, you never know.
Sure.
I mean, that's what I keep saying. Why can't we have a nice, gentle, pretty rain?
Sure.
But now it's just downpours.
But even then, we've had lesser rains and still had flooding issues down at that end of town. So even when it isn't the Armageddon we're talking about, it still creates problems and damage anytime it rains down there.
Right. But you learn from it.
Sure.
And that's what my dad always said. Did you learn something? And that's what we have to do. We have to learn from that.
Mm-hmm.
And either we need to build up this, or we need to do this, or do that. And that's what we did. But the county can only do so much.
Sure.
But this is something huge and important, and we're really trying to push it now.
And this is where we talk, and we got to go because we're running out of time, or it's about 9 o'clock. But when we talk like federal government, and you were talking earlier about what we're supposed to do, and I've always said there's 3 things I care about the federal government: protect my borders, deliver my mail.
Yes.
And fix my roads and highways. I said, past that,
that's
I don't
all
even do
they're
anything
supposed
else
to
to
be
do.
doing.
Well, sometimes I get some mail. So they're almost hitting 1 out of 3.
Yes.
Past that, let the states and counties and cities handle
local.
it. Local.
It needs to be local.
That. Other than that, protect our borders, protect our country. Make sure I've got great roads from sea to shining sea. And make sure my mail shows up when I open the box at the end of the day. That's all I need them to do.
True.
Well, thanks for having us on again.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for working with me. And we ended up actually getting the whole hour of chit chat, which kind of worked out.
Worked out good.
Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to talk to Yvette. We'll get her down the road. That's part of being a congresswoman.
Yes, they're here, there, and
It's-
everywhere, and she is.
she's
amazing.
very good about that. Don't
Yes.
look at it like she did something.
Nope,
She's just
nope, she's amazing.
She's crazy busy.
You know, we're very fortunate to have good representation here, all the way from city officials, as county officials, and representatives to the Senate and the House. You know, and Santa
Absolutely.
Fe. You know, we've got great representation
We do.
locally to Santa Fe.
We don't have enough of them.
Unfortunately, they're a little
Yes.
overwhelmed, but
Yeah.
man,
Yes.
thanks to them for all the hard work they did.
Yes,
You know,
this was a tough session.
24-hour shift that they put in here the last few days.
It was tough.
Well, you know, it's kind of funny because I'm going to kill a minute just to go so we can go right there. But yesterday we're kind of talking with the legislation session finished up, and it sounds like the Democrat side's kind of eating their own here right now. It's turning where the progressives and the moderates are a knockdown drag all on, especially on this crime stuff.
Yes.
They're having real
real
debates on some of that, which
They are, which is good.
It
which
is good. From the outside
they've
looking in, I'm
had
happy
too
about
much
that.
of this is my way or the highway, and House Speaker Brian Egoff, he decided to resign. He is the leader, and he is a my way or the highway person. He has been ever since he got in.
So it's going to the highway now.
There's no compromise. There's no... And there used to be bipartisanship. Even though we were in the minority, there was bipartisanship.
So depending on who they replace them with, this could be a good thing.
I think it would be a very good thing because you have to have that bipartisanship, no matter who is in the majority.
I've said it 100 times on this radio show. I'd love to just get back to the middle. Forget conservative. I just start there.
But we all have the same goal, or we used to all have the same goal. It was just how we got there.
Yeah.
Now this is the way it's going to be, and that's the way it's going to be, and we don't care who you are and what you have to say. And it's like, no.
And we'll find a way to cheat to get it done.
Yes.
And that's the unfortunate
Yes.
part.
Well,
It is
I think
very
they're finding out
unfortunate.
now that way didn't work out so well. No,
They're finding out because the people's voices stood
Sure.
up very much.
We
so
have an
during
election year.
Yes. I always called it. You could tell the bills because I always called it brochure material.
Yeah.
I put in this,
And I'm waiting for Mike to say, and in the next hour, we will continue our talks with Travis County.
Yes.
No,
You've
we're
been
gonna
very
go-
gracious.
We're going to talk
Thank
about
you.
4 old rods next hour.
All right.
Be like, what?
Yay.
It's a play.
It's
Relax.
a play. Yeah, they're not talking about me.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing what you all do for
Thank
us,
you.
and we look forward to talking
Thanks
again
for the
soon.
opportunities.
Yes.
Anytime,
Yes.
anytime.
Yes.
All right, it's 9:01. Your Town Hall News in progress. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back.
Ongoing war in Yemen and global energy supplies. Higher prices at the pump pose a threat to Democrats in upcoming elections.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. California adopting the nation's first endemic COVID policy.
Governor Gavin Newsom made the announcement Thursday.
We now move into a new phase of addressing the challenges and realities of this disease.
At endemic stage, a virus is still in the community but becomes manageable as immunity builds.
Correspondent Mike Rossier. Police in Ottawa have started arresting Freedom Convoy truckers, including organizers of the protest that has paralyzed the Canadian capital for several weeks. Wall Street, the Dow down 104 points, the NASDAQ off 127. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3388 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3388. Enjoy.
Millions of Britons being advised to cancel their travel plans and hunker down indoors.
The UK's weather forecasting service says Storm Eunice is likely to cause significant disruption and dangerous conditions with gusts that may exceed 90 miles per hour and fears of flying debris. The Met Office has issued red warnings that indicates a danger to life for parts of both southwest England and southeast England, including London, while the Environment Agency has issued 10 severe flood warnings, another indicator of life-threatening weather conditions. London Mayor Sadiq Khan wants Londoners to stay at home, not to take risks, and avoid travelling unless absolutely essential. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
A court in India has sentenced 38 people to death for a series of bomb blasts in 2008, left more than 50 people dead, 200 wounded. News and analysis at townhall.com. Virginia's new Republican governor hits a wall of opposition in the Commonwealth's Democrat-controlled Senate.
The chamber has voted down close to 20 of the Republicans' priority bills on education reform, tax cuts, and labor law. But the newly inaugurated governor maintains an optimistic view of what's possible before the legislature finishes its work. In an interview this week with the Associated Press, he emphasized that since his priorities cleared the GOP-controlled House by a legislative midpoint deadline, there's still time to find compromise with the Senate. He says he sees a ton of momentum across his agenda. Keith Peters reporting.
Kim Potter, the former suburban Minneapolis police officer who said that she had confused her handgun for her taser when she killed 20-year-old Dante Wright, being sentenced today for her manslaughter conviction. Hearing now underway in a courtroom of the victim impact statements being delivered. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3. Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Thank you, Tanner. Appreciate that. Happy Friday, everybody. We made it. Pat yourselves on the back. Job well done. We got to Friday, and I ain't gonna lie. Some weeks it seems harder than others, doesn't it? Get to that Friday. This one, well, for me, because I was sick half the week, or I still cold, but made it rougher. Made like a much longer week for me, but we made it. We're here. It's Friday. Welcome to it. Thank you to the fine folks at McDonald's, as they do each and every Friday, provide us with delicious breakfast treats. Don't forget, we are less than 1 hour away from the grand opening of the South Main McDonald's. It will open up its doors for the first time. Well, the new McDonald's, the new facility will open its doors for the first time at 10 a.m. this morning. They're having a big grand opening celebration. They're going to start with the lunch menu at 10 a.m. So if you want to roll in at 10 and get a breakfast, you're going to have to go to one of the other McDonald's. But they're going to be starting with lunch at 10 a.m. this morning. And then tomorrow, that McDonald's will open its normal breakfast time, and whenever that is, at 5 or 6 in the morning. dark 30, they open real early. And you can get your breakfast menu and everything, normal menu and schedule and all that then. But, yeah. So if you're there on the south end, you're thinking, man, now I don't have to drive all the way downtown. or all the way to the north end to get McDonald's. Now you got it right there. It's back. And it all opens up beginning at 10 a.m. this morning. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. Here in just a few minutes, we'll get you up to date with the weather. Then about quarter after or so, we're going to be joined by some of the folks from the Roswell Community Little Theater. Denise Samuels and Kirk DeSoto are going to join us. Of course, they've got the John Denver Ted Vigil tribute show that's happening this Saturday, tomorrow, at the Roswell Community Little Theater. Well, right after that, hot on the heels of that, the next couple weekends here, February 25th, 26th, 27th, and then the first weekend of March, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Their next play will be Four Old Broads. Denise, director Kirk, I believe, is part of the cast. So we're going to talk with them and talk all about. Think of Golden Girls with a little bit more modern twist. I think that what you kind of say. That it's a comedy. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now, but we're going to have some of the players join us here in just a little bit, and I do want to. We'll talk more about it when they're here, but folks, and I say folks because there's no rule for just fellas doing this. I don't see. Naturally, first thoughts would be this is for dudes, but I say no, not necessarily. For opening night, there on the 25th, they're going to be doing a Elvis costume contest. So if you come out in your Elvis attire, you'll get in free for the show. They're going to bring everybody up on stage and do a little Elvis off and have some fun with it. Because Elvis, well, maybe not the Elvis, but Elvis, the aura of Elvis is very much part of this play too. So, so if you always had a desire to do your Elvis, work, you got, I say ladies and fellas, you got a week to work on your mutton chops. and to be honest, I say which Elvis you pick is open to interpretation. So if you want like 50s svelte, Army Elvis, yeah, great. If you want more 60s movie star Elvis, great. Or do you want more bloated, Demerol laced Elvis of the 70s with the jumpsuits and the whole nine? Any of those will count. So whichever you do you. Like me, based on my physique and body, you're probably going to get the older Elvis. But some more handsome folks will get the more svelte, younger Elvis version. So, but anyway, we'll talk more about that with Denise and Kirk here in just a few minutes. Don't forget, swing on by any four of your three McDonald's. It's now 3, beginning at 10 a.m. here. You can come on by, and don't forget to download the app too. Order through the app. Still try the hack menu, and Tanner learned, but you got to build it yourself if you do the hack menu. If you do like the Lansing Air, they're going to give you the 3 sandwiches you need to make it, but you still got to make it. That's the whole hack. You have to, maybe, because I think the hack has a certain way on how you layer it, like chicken goes here, beef, fish, so forth. But with the hack, you do you. If you want to put the fish on top and then the chicken on the bottom with the burger patty in the middle, or, you do you, but you can got it that way. All right, it is 11 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll be on a warming trend this weekend with high pressure setting up over eastern New Mexico. We've got fair conditions expected today, about 60 for the afternoon high, and we should get sunshine all day, down to 25 and clear for the overnight hours, and then a little bit warmer on Saturday, mid-60s and sunny, a big boost on our daytime high on Sunday, mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 20. Did I? They haven't refreshed it. I've refreshed it, but it didn't refresh. Let me refresh. There we go. That's much fresher. Currently 37 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 37%. Coincidence? Yes. Wind speeds currently out of the south at 9 miles per hour. Today, expect sunny skies and a high of 61. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, skies will be clear with an overnight low of 26 degrees. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Mid-60s and sunny for you Saturday. Winds will be out of the west early, 5 to 10. little bit breezier out of the south, 10 to 15 for tomorrow afternoon. Skies will be clear tomorrow night with an overnight low of 28 degrees. Southwest winds 5 to 10. Sunday, just downright delightful. Sunny skies, a high of 75. Southwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And for your President's Day on Monday, mostly sunny and breezy with a high of 72. All right, it is 13 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take about a 4.5 minute break, and then we'll talk to the folks from the Roswell Community Little Theater, talking four old broads on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Ed Heldenbrand, candidate for City Council. He's a patriot fighting against the waste of your tax dollars. As a CPA and Chief Financial Officer with over 35 years of experience, Ed understands the importance of managing budgets. By reducing the wasteful spending in the budget, we can lower your city water, sanitation costs, and work to reduce city fees. Roswell's potential is hurt by bad ideas and wasteful spending. Ed Hildebrand will never vote to shut down Roswell. He'll fight the job, education, and freedom-killing mandates from Santa Fe. It's important that taxpayers see improvements in our roads and city services to attract jobs, businesses, tourists, and to create an environment for local businesses to thrive. In Ward 3, you have a choice. Vote Ed Heldenbrand, the conservative candidate. With your vote, we can build a better Roswell.
I'm Ed Heldenbrand, City Council candidate for Ward 3, asking for your vote on Tuesday, March 1st. It's not about me, it's about we, and I approve this message.
I've heard it said, speaking my mind is easy, speaking it tactfully, not so much. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
Proverbs 15:15 says, a gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. Sometimes my greatest accomplishment is keeping my mouth shut. There are times when we argue that it would be easy to lash out. So I have a choice to make. I can either feed the fire or quench it with my words.
Julie and I have learned there's going to be arguments, but we've learned to fight and argue, not to be right, but to get the situation right.
So the next time you're in an argument, try saying something kind from a genuine heart to bring peace in your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Mays Lumber has all the hard-to-find hardwood you've been looking for. Oak, cherry, walnut, poplar, and maple. Plus, hard-to-find exotic woods like purple heart, zebra wood, ambrosia maple, black limba, and bloodwood. Perfect for that one-of-a-kind gift piece or table. Get ready with Formica and Wilson Art countertops in 12-footer custom length with installation available. Make it happen at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, serving southeastern New Mexico and beyond since 1934.
Honey, did you see the story in the Roswell paper recently about how Dennis Kintai and the city council want to spend $61 million on new baseball fields?
Yep, talk about out-of-control spending.
Yeah, they say it's a field of dreams, more like field of debt.
Definitely. Kintai and the council don't have their priorities straight. Remember, they wanted to spend $35 million on a new public safety complex. Thank goodness over 80% of voters rejected that boondoggle.
And meanwhile, crime has gone up drastically over Kintai's last 4 years in charge.
Yeah, and Roswell's roads are a mess. Have you seen the sorry state that streets like North Garden are in? Potholes everywhere.
That's why we need Tim Jennings for mayor. Tim will control spending, hire more police officers, and fix our roads.
Let's send a message to City Hall that Roswell can't afford to spend $61 million on building new baseball fields. Vote Tim Jennings for mayor.
Paid for by Tim Jennings for mayor.
Fall in love and save this month at Roswell Nissan. Sweet deals across the lot so your wallet can feel the love. Get a 2015 Chrysler 200 for only $195 a month, a 2017 Versa for only $185 a month, or a 2012 Chevy Sonic for only $135 a month. Zero down, no payments for 90 days, and $2,000 guaranteed on your trade. So drag it in. Plus, stop by for a box of sweets and spin the wheel. Get a box of chocolates with a test drive and a $30 Pasta Cafe gift card with purchase. Fall in love at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, we believe that every funeral should be a reflection of the life it honors. The joys, the triumphs, the faith, the family, and so much more. For us, no detail is too small, no request too big. This is Rosa Aguilar. When the time comes to choose a funeral home, we hope you'll let us serve your family. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state name that can be typed on one row of keys. Go ahead and try typing the other 49 states. We'll wait. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Community Little Theater, we have Denise Samuels and Kirk DeSoto. Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for spending a few minutes here with us this morning. Appreciate it. I know I'm sure your lives have been nothing but four old broads for the last, 2 months now, maybe?
Yes, I feel like I live at the theater here lately.
Yeah.
Live and breathe, and then we're there again.
That's right. Yes. Well, good news is the fruits of your labor are coming up here in about a week and a half here or so.
Yeah. Yes, a week. We open a week from today.
Next week. As soon as we get through John Denver weekend here, the stage is all yours for.
Yes.
We'll get into that because we got time to talk. But that's a question I want to ask later on down there. Now, the play is called Four Old Broads, and it's going to be happening at the Roswell Community Little Theater next weekend, February 25th, 26th, and 27th. And then the following weekend, March 4th, 5th, and 6th. The 25th, 26th, and 4th and 5th, those are Friday and Saturday evening performances at 7:30.
That's correct.
And then the 27th and 6th, those are 2:30 Sunday matinee performances. So if you don't want to go out at night, you want to do the daytime, you can pick one of those Sunday performances and go to one of that. So you're covered either way.
There you go, yes.
Yeah. And, of course, it's happening at the Roswell Community Theater. Tickets are available right now. You can go online to roswelltheater.com.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you spell theater like live theater, T-H-E-A-T-R-E.
Right, fancy.
Yeah.
We are fancy.
Pinky, yes.
Pinky's up.
Yeah,
fancy
don't
theater.
do Savage the Eater like the movie folks. And then you can get your tickets there. You can still get tickets for the John Denver show if you want to go see that tomorrow, too.
Yes.
That one is a direct fundraising event for Kiwanis Club of Roswell and the Community Theater. Community Theater uses their portion to pay for the roof.
Yes.
The Kiwanis Club are using their portion to pay for the all-inclusive park that they've partnered with the city on there.
Yes, that's right.
By coming out to see Four Old Broads, that money's all going probably to pay for the roof, I'm guessing. The money generated from this play is going to help pay for the new roof there at the little theater.
Yes. And we have been in desperate need of a new roof, so we're very excited.
It's fine till it rains.
Exactly.
Till it rains or snows.
And moisture.
But we're getting there. We're getting there slowly but surely. But we're starting to fix that roof, and any generous donation would be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I think tickets are like $10 or something. They're very affordable.
Yes.
But if you want to pay more at the door, that would be okay. But maybe get your tickets in advance. That way you're guaranteed a spot. Mm-hmm. Especially once opening night happens, word kind of gets out, and then people say, "Oh yeah, you should go," and then they bring them back the next night or the next weekend to go see it.
Yes, that is the plan. Yes.
That's the idea. So get your tickets online or get them at the door, but get them early if you can.
Right.
So let's talk about the play. What's I've heard it's Golden Girls with a kind of more modern twist a little bit maybe. Is that a pretty fair assessment of this play?
I would absolutely agree with that. Yes. In fact, one of the quotes from I guess like a review of the play, they said, if Golden Girls were rebooted today, it would look very much like Four Old Broads.
There you go. Perfect.
And yes, it's that that friendship with that kind of lewd humor a little bit.
Four ladies trying to meet the men, and just very much like Golden Girls was.
Yes, definitely.
For single ladies. Seasoned single ladies living life and enjoying their golden years. That's basically what the play is.
Yes, and that it's set at Magnolia Place Assisted Living.
Okay.
And the ladies are there, and there's a new resident, Imogene.
Okay.
But she's having memory problems, and so her friends are trying to figure out what's going on. And there's some confusion with the medicine, like what's this strange pill that they're getting, and So it's really funny.
Cool.
They try to solve this mystery, and it's just hilarious.
And then the comedy and the story, the plot ensues, and
yes.
And it goes from something like a lot of comedy, especially in these veins. It's probably something very simple at the beginning that snowballs into this giant, enormous issue by the end of the play, kind of thing. Where it's like you realize at the beginning, if you just did this would not have been a problem 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of comedy. But the people, the characters, they don't see it for that. So down the road we go. So
yes.
That's cool. That's fun. So now I was talking a little bit about Elvis earlier here. If for folks that want to come out opening night, February 25th, come out in your best Elvis.
Yes.
And you'll get in free for the show, and they
That's
like
right.
to bring all the Elvises on stage and maybe do an Elvis off here or something.
Right.
And have some fun with it.
Yes. The one guy in the cast, he is a retired Elvis impersonator.
Yes.
And so we thought, it'd be funny to have like an Elvis lookalike contest, to just kind of something fun for opening night. And yeah, so people can come out dressed as their best Elvis impersonation, and they'll get a free ticket for the show just on opening night.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it's just the 25th, that first night. Yeah.
Exactly. And then after the show, we'll call up all of the participants and
all Elvises report to the stage, please.
Exactly. Yes. Elvis is needed on the stage. Yes. And then we're going to kind of do like an audience vote, for the winner of the best Elvis. So
yeah. So bring your, and I was saying earlier, Elvis is up to your interpretation.
Exactly.
Like if you want to go with young, svelte, Army Elvis,
right,
or 60s movie star Elvis, or kind of bloated Demerol Elvis in the 70s.
whatever works best for you, just go with that.
Yeah, exactly. So Kirk, what do you? So I know Chris plays that character in the play.
Yes, he does.
Kirk, now are you behind the scenes on this one, or are you in the front of the house?
I'm behind the scenes and in the middle of the scenes, and sometimes on the stage in the scenes, because I don't know where my place is. I'm a brand new assistant director at the theater.
So you're you're the gap in the line.
Yes,
you're getting in. Of course, probably a lot of folks know you from teaching and your education side, but Kirk's like, you know what? I want to tap down. Is your goal to eventually do a little front of house stuff?
I did once before. My debut was in the theater at Roswell Little Community Theater.
Okay.
And it was in Hello Dolly. A couple of years ago, Jim Bignell directed that play, and that's where I first got into the theater. That's what got you
into it.
It got me into it, and I was like, wow, this is a whole lot of work. And it really is a labor of love. And so I've dropped out for a little while, and Denise asked me to come back as the assistant director, and I said, sure, I'll come back and help.
How hard can it be?
Yeah, how hard can it be?
He makes it sound like he was so willing. I had to twist his arm a little bit.
But it's been really good because Denise is a very organized director, and our cast has been really appreciative of her because she's very put together. And we were able to get our stage up and our sets up and things like that. And it really is a labor of love with a lot of volunteer work and individuals coming in and helping out and building those things and putting all of their talents into the theater.
Yeah. And y'all had a few extra logistical wrinkles on this one because of, let's face it, because of the Ted Vigil concert here. One of the beauties of having your own theater at the Roswell Community Theater is, you're the gig in town. You get to build your set, and for the most part, it doesn't get messed with until, it needs to be.
Right.
But because there's other shows happening, you guys can't just build it and do it the way you want right now because it might be in the way of, say, the Ted Vigil show or Ted Vigil show tomorrow night. So I imagine that adds another logistical wrinkle of, all right, we're going to have to do, maybe we had more time to do setup in prior shows because we didn't have a show the week before, a different show. Now you're like, all right, come Sunday morning or Saturday night or whenever everything's done, you're like, all right, we gotta get Ted Vigil out and get 4 Old Broads in, and we got less than a week to get that done.
Right, and our set is done. I'm not for certain what he's going to need for his.
Yeah.
But we have, a trick of the theater. You put little tape marks where all the furniture goes.
Gotcha. So you got like a layout or a map of where to put everything when it's ready to go and get set up for this new play.
Right.
Cool.
So if we have to move stuff off, we go find our little tape and put it back.
Gotcha. So let me ask you, Kirk, since this is your first time kind of on the other side of the house here on the management side is the acting side. Is it different? Is it different being an assistant director? Like, obviously you prepare and do different things, but acting as a performer in the show versus being a director or assistant director. And Denise, you can answer this too because you've got just as much experience on both sides too. I mean, is it a big difference? Is it? I mean, because as a director, obviously you're focusing on everything and you've got a vision on what you want this to look like, and you're trying to get your cast to see this vision and to perform this vision.
Right.
But but at the same time, you're not the one saying the notes and doing the things. So and I imagine if you want to do it, it's got to be hard for you not, let me do it. You know what I mean? Just kind of, I want to sing it or what, you know what I mean? So for you personally, how is that experience being kind of on the other side of the coin here?
I think that it's been a good experience for me because I get to see people that I told them, I said, you guys are Roswell famous.
Sure.
And I've been to so many plays at the community theater that I recognize people like Louise Montague and Gina Montague. And I told them, I said, you guys are Roswell famous, and I really appreciate their talent because I'm able to see it from the very beginning. And I think that's what's different. That I don't have as much stress as they do, learning their lines and learning their cues and learning direction and things like that. But they're seasoned professionals of the Roswell Theater, and they've done a really good job. And it's been really nice for me on this side. It's been easy to be able to, as Denise gasps, and she didn't gasp into the microphone, but she gasped.
Her eyes got very large.
It's been easy for me to watch them, but it's...
You use that word a lot. I do not think it means what you think it means.
But I think it's really nice being able to just, like I said, watch them from the very beginning of starting a play to come to fruition.
Okay.
And it's been a joy for me every night because I go to the theater and I laugh. And I laugh hysterically because this play is hilarious. And it's been neat to see people come in, like our stagehands and other people that are extras come in and see the play for the first time or hear something for the first time and have them laugh just as much as we are.
It kind of confirms you're doing it right. You're like, all right.
We're very grateful for that, but
the funny parts are in the right spots where they need to be. The
funny
parts are funny.
It is, but to answer your question, it has been easier for me than being on the stage because I do get nervous and I do get stage fright, and that's okay.
Right.
But it's a good place to do that in because everyone is very supportive.
And I'm sure let's face it, that's human nature.
Yes.
In some aspects, the butterflies motivate you, drive you a little bit. If you didn't have that, you're like, am I passionate about this?
Exactly.
That's kind of an indicator. If I'm nervous about doing this well, is this really something I care about? And that's kind of an internal indicator for you. It's like, and I get it. Some people you still get that even because you just want to make sure whatever it is you do, whether you're into it or not, you want to do well. I mean, that's human nature too, I think.
Right.
And so, yeah, you're right. I think you need that to be good.
Yes.
And the moment you show up without it, then you're like, uh-oh, then you ought to get nervous.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm so glad you think this is easier, friend.
She's like, I got some more stuff for you.
I would have to disagree. I mean, I love being on the stage. It's a blast. And it is a lot of work learning lines and everything, but you just kind of have to focus on your part and what you need to do.
Sure.
As a director, there are so many different moving parts and making sure everything is good.
And you're stomping out fires left and right. Or at least as an actor, you're like, I got my world, I got this, and that's all I got. If I do this well, the other cogs in the system will do their parts.
Right. And I mean, I love it. It's a blast. Like he was saying, to see it start and then come together and see the whole thing together and all of the hard work everybody's put in, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
But it is a lot.
Sure.
But this is only my second time to direct a play, so but I'm having a blast with it, and we have such a great cast. They're so talented.
If you got the right cast and that chemistry is so important. That sometimes is the difference between a good performance and a great performance is the chemistry between the cast. Where And because it's live theater, no two performances are exactly alike. They're just not.
That is absolutely true.
It's live theater. You know, a line's forgotten here, or a staging is missed here, and the team has to compensate for that.
Right.
So where one person forgets a line or forgets a cue, others have to pick up on that and make it look like, oh, we meant to do it that way. And that's the beauty of live theater is they do this kind of stuff all the time. Like you watch them, like, that was amazing. Like, we screwed up 6 times in there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But you didn't know it. And
right.
then guess what? It's a success. That's
one of my favorite stories is when I was in Odd Couple with Michelle Massey. We had the 2 leads, and during one of the performances, a painting fell off of the wall.
Yeah, then there's wardrobe and set malfunctions you can't control. Yeah.
Right, and I mean, it's during the performance, and it fell off the wall. And I mean, the key is you just stay in character. What would my character say? And so I looked at her and I said, well, now look what you've done. This is why we can't have anything nice. And the audience just cracked up.
And it brought the house down, didn't it?
Yeah, and we just moved on from there. But I mean, you just, gotta go with it.
So since we're talking about that, let me, because, and I know enough to know, talking with other directors and other casts, where, the people that write these plays, and there's a whole, this is where we talk about money and everything else. It's not cheap to put on any production. I don't care if it's a local play written by someone local versus Les Miserables, whatever it is. It's still going to be a lot of money, a lot of time and effort. Permissions alone, just to do, the communal theater just can't decide, I'm going to do Pinocchio one day and just start doing it. No, they got to get permission and the rights, basically, and all that costs money.
Yes.
And then on top of that, and this depends on the person that wrote it usually, some are very stringent on how you present it. Others give the theater company a little bit more direction or make it their own a little bit, So, but others, and I'm guessing particularly Disney-based performances and stuff are probably more so this way, where they're very meticulous on what you have as set design, costume design. The words have to be said the exact way.
Right.
Otherwise, they won't give you that permission. I'm guessing for Old Broad, since this is more of a newer, it isn't like Les Miserables. It's not been on Broadway or anything like this. This one you probably had a little bit more freedom with, I'm guessing.
Yes, and the playwright, Leslie Kimball, this is the first play that she wrote and was published. And I say we're friends. Like, I talked to her on Facebook.
We're besties.
And, Leslie, we go way back. Anyway, I talked to her on Facebook, and I've, sent her pictures of the set and everything, and she's been super supportive and has even on her personal page promoted.
Oh, nice.
And posted pictures from our rehearsals.
I imagine it's a big deal for her too, to see her play being done across the country in different places. That's got to be a cool feeling for her as well.
Right, and so like I said, she's been really supportive, and I sent her a picture of our set. She's like, "Oh my gosh, your set looks great." And I was like, she likes her set. That's awesome.
That's cool. Where's she live by, or do you know where
she is in Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she ain't gonna pop in on us or something.
Well, I invited her. I said, we would love if you could come and see the play, but she's not able to.
She's not from Roswell, Georgia, weirdly enough, is she?
I don't think so.
That would be funny.
I know, that would be
How
a
funny
weird
would that be? She's like, I live in Roswell, Georgia.
I don't think so, but that would be cool.
That would be, that would almost be serendipitous.
Yes, definitely.
I think you'd have to put that in that category of that, but that's pretty cool. But, it's a lot of fun. And if you've never been to a live performance, this is a great one to go to.
Yes.
I know some people have hang-ups about, I don't want to go to a musical, I don't want to sit and, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This is different. It's a fun play.
It's so funny. My 15-year-old daughter, she is working backstage.
Yeah.
And the first rehearsal that she came to, she hadn't read the play, and we hadn't really talked too much about it.
Yeah.
And so she's sitting there listening, and she is just cracking up. And I have a picture, and she is just like belly laughing at it. And I'm like, okay, this is, yes, it's that funny.
Yeah. And that's so people that normally don't find live theater their comfort zone or something they're into, I think this will be something for you to get your feet wet with and get into, because it's not like your Hamilton where every single line is sung,
right?
And, and everything like that, or it's not like that type of thing. This is with dialogue, a story, and you follow it, very similar to maybe watching a TV show or something. But you know, I'm not saying it's set up like that, but it follows kind of like that.
Yeah.
Versus a musical where everyone's singing it, or an opera where, you know, it's different.
So I think it would be a good time to say, hey, you know what? If you want to go out for a night, or if you want to have a good laugh, that's what I've been telling people that I associate with, and some of them are outside the theater. But one of the things that has come up in my conversations with people around town is some of them still associate the little theater as the building behind Cattle Baron.
Yeah, they haven't been in there in a while.
No, we haven't.
It's been about 10 years.
Yeah. But they still see it. They still see the sign on that building, and they're like, oh, over there behind Cattle Baron. And I'm like, no, it's not behind Cattle Baron.
Not anymore.
It's over there on South Union, y'all.
1717 South Union.
For those who've been here a while, the old Park Twin.
Exactly.
If you remember back in the day when that was a 2-theater movie theater.
That's right.
But that was before the Icon or Apex, wherever it's called now, which is right nearby the little theater.
Right next door.
Yeah. So come on. And matter of fact, they turned that 2-theater building into one big theater. And then of course, a lot of it is, and that's actually, if you ever get a chance, if like you buddy up with any of the communal theater folks, see if you get a tour. I mean, it's really kind of cool when you go back behind the scenes.
Yes.
Peel back the curtain, pun intended there. Peel back the curtain and see like just the, you know, because it's a who's who of stuff from old plays. And let's face it, as a community little theater, you know, you're not stuck doing plays from one time period. Right. You know, it could be modern, it could be from the 40s, it could be from the 1800s. And it's really hard to tell a story from the 40s when you got modern looking furniture that the cast is sitting on. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you guys have couches and things that were dated to the 40s or have a 40s look or an older look or clothing.
Yes.
Tons of that stuff. There's never enough, by the way, but they have a great collection of that stuff.
Yes.
You know, if they come up with plays like, all right, let's go through the wardrobe here and see if we can find some set pieces that will line up with, like with 4 Broads, I imagine, it's being a nursing home, you probably pick furniture that looks like out of hotels and things like that more because it's a nursing home. You know?
And our costume shop has lent a lot to us this time. And it's been really fun going through that costume shop and seeing the things and items that people have donated over the years because the theater has been in existence for many, many decades.
Yeah. Then they have a great group of people, the board, everything for a long time have been doing justice for that organization and doing good things.
And we have a great friend in Blair's Trading Post. They've let us borrow a couple of things, and we're very grateful to Blair's because they have lent furniture for the last couple of plays, and they've lent some items for this play as well. And so Blair's has been really good to us as well, and we're very grateful for them to be able to go out there and peruse and wander around there and find things, and it's been pretty fun doing that as well.
Good. And that's part of the fun of being in the communal theater, you know. And I'd love if you know, come out to these plays either this weekend or next or the weekend after and talk to the staff, talk to the cast, talk to them. If you want to get more involved in doing some of this stuff, they're always looking for new faces and new people to come be a part of the communal theater, whether you want to serve on the board and serve in more of a administrative capacity or, you know, roll up your sleeves and act or direct one of these performances. That's love to have you. Or if you want a technical, do sound and lighting.
We always need help backstage. Absolutely, sound and lights.
Yeah,
like
costuming, building sets, all the stuff that takes kind of talents.
Right,
a lot of some don't have.
I am not good with the power tools, so. And we discovered
Fortunately, you have a couple people that are, though.
Thank goodness. Yes. We also discovered I am not so good with the painting. When we were painting the set, and apparently I was the slowest painter ever. It was very embarrassing. But
was it accurate?
Yes. But don't look very closely. We were very grateful to our carpenter Chris because he did a lot of work on the set. But like you said, anybody that has a talent that'd like to share it, that wants to give of their time, they're more than welcome. We have one individual, I won't name her by name because it's a surprise, but she did her first voiceover for us. And so we had a voiceover talent that is debuting as her Southern accent because she's from the South in Louisiana, and we said, you know, we need her. And she was very gracious to provide her voice to the theater as well.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Now, like we talk about, you know, I haven't really gotten that. We get the 4 Broads. Obviously, you have the 4 Broads. That's the cast.
And then you have one guy who's kind of an Elvis impersonator.
Yes, and he thinks he's Mr. Casanova also.
So is he one of the love interests, or is he hoping to be a love interest, I guess?
Yes and yes.
Okay, very good. Is there any other, how much more of the cast will there be on this play?
Yes, we have 2 nurses.
Okay.
We have, I refer to them as the mean nurse and the nice nurse.
Okay. Nurse Ratchet and...
Yes.
Is there a name for any nice nurse? Nurse Betty. We'll go with Nurse Betty.
There you go. That works.
It's a good one.
So, but yeah, it's a cast of 7, and they've been doing so great. And you were talking about interacting with the cast, and I wanted to be sure and mention that we are doing the immersive dinner on March the 3rd.
Okay.
And
so that'll be that Friday or the Thursday night before.
Thursday before the second weekend.
Okay.
Yes. And we just started doing this. They did it with the last play, Mother Goose Gets Eaten by Werewolves. And what it is it's a nice meal provided, and you get to have the meal on the set, on the stage, and the cast is in character, and they're serving you and interacting with you.
Gotcha. Kind of like dinner theater, but just the dinner part.
Right.
And then I guess afterwards you sit down in the audience and then watch the show.
Well, it'll be on Thursday, so it'll just be the dinner that night.
Oh, it's just a dinner, but then they come back next night and
absolutely.
And enjoy. Cool. Okay.
And it's really nice. It's being catered by Pecos Flavors.
Oh, good.
And
so what's the menu?
So the menu, let me double check my notes. I don't want to tell you wrong.
Yeah, this is important stuff here. Don't
Exactly,
get this wrong.
Right? Oh my goodness gracious. So you have your choice of a pan-fried pork chop or herb roasted chicken.
Okay.
And then like a little salad to begin.
Okay.
Some potatoes and veggies.
Okay.
With a corn muffin, because we in the South, it's set in Georgia.
That's right.
And of course for dessert, you have to have your peach cobbler.
Nice.
Right?
So pork chops or chicken breast and southern, a little more upscale southern fare.
Yes.
Pecos Flavors
fancy
usually
southern, yes.
Pecos Flavors likes to, fancy it up a little bit. They do a great job. By
Yes.
So.
And the tickets are $50, and that includes the meal, and you also get 1 free ticket to the show.
Okay.
So, and I mean, I'm excited.
Sure.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And
like for last time, would you recommend, do people get kind of dressed up, or is this a casual thing for the event?
I think a little dressy.
Okay. You don't have to put on a tux or a
no.
ball gown, but you
no.
know, something that like your church clothes maybe.
Yeah, that's my mom is coming to town to visit, and she purchased a ticket for the dinner, and
Cool.
she asked the same thing. Well, what do I wear? And I said, church clothes. You'll be fine.
Good deal.
So.
Yeah, because that's usually the biggest debate most of us have. Like, do I need to get fancy? Because you don't want to come in with your jeans looking like a bum, and everyone's like in suits and stuff. You're like, oh, dang, I screwed up.
Right.
But then again, you don't want to be that guy showing up in a blue tuxedo and everyone's in jeans and t-shirts.
Exactly.
They think you're part of the cast. It'll be fine.
I know,
It'll be fine.
But that guy needs attention.
But yeah, so we're excited about that, and our Elvis impersonator, he's going to maybe perform some Elvis tunes while people are having dinner. And
Elvis has been working on his chops, by the way. I've been watching the steady progress of Elvis's chops over the last month or so here, and it's getting good.
Yeah,
and he sacrificed his beard for us.
Yeah,
so
he just has.
He said he hadn't shaved in quite a while, so he sacrificed that beard for us and has some Elvis chops going on
there
now.
You go.
Yes, but the doors will open at 6:30 on March the 3rd for that dinner, and then it'll start at 7.
Okay.
And I believe they're going to have like maybe some, I don't know, like little snacks, appetizer in the lobby while everybody gets there.
Finger foods and what have you.
Yeah, and
something to nosh on till everything gets going.
Yes, but yeah, I'm excited. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and I think they're hoping to kind of do this for the plays going forward.
I guess this is just part of what we do every time.
Yeah,
So let me ask this: to get tickets for the dinner that Thursday, March 3rd.
Yes.
Can they go onto the website, or they have to go to a special place to get those?
Yes, please go onto the website, Roswell Theater, Pinkies Up with the fancy theater.
THEATRE.
Yes, .com. And there's a little picture there. It says immersive dinner. You can click on there.
Okay.
Purchase your tickets, and it'll let you choose, if you want the pork chop or the chicken or everything. And tickets are limited because obviously we can't fit a ton of people.
You're
on
not a
the stage.
restaurant. You're a theater, and
they
didn't think about that when they made the stage for dining capacity.
Well, we just came up with this. So.
Well, and we're looking for a very intimate dinner that you're going to have a fun experience and
chance to woo a date or, just spend some quality time with somebody. That's all.
And have a little bit of fun and laugh.
Sure. Eat a great meal and have some laughs and get a preview of the play. Kind of as you talk with the characters and things, you'll probably learn a nugget or two about some backstory here and there and all that too.
And I think it's good because those who have seen the play, the first weekend, they'll, kind of get the inside jokes with the characters.
They're in the know.
Right. And those who haven't, it'll, hopefully pique their interest of, okay, what
things
is
to
this?
pay attention to
exactly.
when you do watch the play the next night or when you go to watch it.
Right.
Yes.
And I did look online last night, and I think there's about 5 tickets left
for the dinner. Okay, so not many left.
Right. So if you are interested, hop on there. And
maybe today.
Yes.
Maybe get that done today.
Yes.
Okay.
So
again, RoswellTheater.com, THEATRE.
Yes.
And if you don't remember any of that, just Google Roswell Communal Theater, RCLT, or whatever. It'll pop right up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
They have a Facebook page. There's a link to the website on the Facebook page as well too.
Absolutely.
And that way you can also see other upcoming. They've got, we talk about Four Old Broads, but there's a bevy of plays on the horizon. Clue's going to be coming up here in a few months. There's some more stuff coming on down the road. So follow it on Facebook or social media there, and that way you can kind of stay up to date. Like when they call for auditions for these next plays, usually that's the first place you see it is on the Facebook page and things like that. So if you're looking to be a part of some of these future plays, follow and audition for some of these ones coming up after Four Old Broads here.
Yes. Definitely.
I think we had a first in our auditions this year. We did auditions by Zoom because we had individuals interested from other communities. So
nice.
They Zoomed in and auditioned with us, and we had about 20 people come out for these 7 parts, and it was really neat seeing people from out of town, from Carlsbad, and watching them audition over Zoom. And it was a different experience for me, but it was really neat to see other people from outside the community interested in it as well.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but community theater is a community within itself. So, and what I mean by that is, the communal theater folks here, they chew some dirt with the folks in Artesia and Carlsbad as far as communal theater, and so it's a circle, and they know each other, whether they competed or performed together in the past at various things. So there is that network right there, and the communal theater family is much bigger than what you see in the building here in Roswell.
Yes.
It is.
And I'm really glad you brought that up because the first play I directed back in May was Dearly Beloved. And then we found out our friends in the Carlsbad Community Theater, they did the same show, Dearly Beloved.
Oh, cool.
A few months ago. And so me and a bunch of people from my cast were like, we have to go see it.
Gotta check out their version.
Right. And so we road tripped down to Carlsbad and got to see, and they did a great job. And we just formed, good friendships with them. And they had a group come and watch Mother Goose.
That's great.
So, and we
supporting each other.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's great. That's what it's all about.
Right. And they are right now in production for Love Letters.
Okay.
And I think a group from our theater is going down on Sunday.
Okay. Hey, do you guys network as far as resources too? Or like for instance, y'all did the same play. It's well, we got some set stuff that might help you guys. I mean, is there, is that a little bit of that going on or something?
We need to talk about that. Okay. That is a really good idea.
It might be a good note because I know that you guys really, sometimes that's half the battle is finding all the pieces and things you need to make the set complete.
Right.
That's why things like Blair's Trading Post are so valuable to you. But, maybe, hey, the communal theater, they got the same problems you guys have, and maybe they can work together on. Yes. I mean, obviously you guys don't do plays the exact same time, like you're both not doing. But guess what? Carlsbad's doing Four Old Broads too, same weekend. No, you're not like that. But, say a year from now, they're like, man, we're going to do this Four Old Broads. You'd be like, guess what? We got some set designs still there.
Right.
Costuming, let's library it out, borrow some and get it back to us. But
that definitely. And they're a great group of people down there, and we really enjoy going to support them, and we appreciate them coming and supporting us.
Although I imagine bigger set pieces, moving from Carlsbad to Roswell is probably not the easiest thing to do.
Probably not.
But I'm sure costuming things or a chair or something. Yeah. That could
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that, and that's really how communities work. That's how theater works. Is that we all do our parts. We all and okay. You don't want to act and come out, be a part. Come out, be entertained.
Exactly.
Come out and support it, because what you're doing is by coming out to these shows and yucking it up and having a date or having dinner and things like that, you're supporting the arts, which in turn supports our community.
Yes.
It just so happens this money is going directly to provide for a roof, but when you come to these things, you're supporting like the Kids Arts Program, which is very much part of the community theater, where it exposes children from 5 to high school with the side of arts and learning life lessons through theater and the creative side, and exposing them to that, where, let's face it, that's taken a back seat in public school now, where we as a community need to step up and carry that baton. And so by you coming out and laughing at 4 Old Broads, you're supporting that kind of thing.
Yes.
And by coming out and having dinner, you're supporting that kind of thing. By going out to the zoo and participating in their stuff, you're helping those sort of things.
Yes.
So, that's why it's important to get involved in these things in our community, like 4 Old Broads, like the events that happen at the museums and the zoos and stuff like that.
Absolutely, yes.
And I think we've, in the last couple of months this year alone, the community theaters expanded their calendar and events that they do. It's not just plays and musicals and things like that.
Yeah.
They hold events in the lobby. They've also done what they've called Curtains Rising, but they've done that at the theater. They've done it off-site and different places. So there's all kinds of events that are there at the community theater.
Matter of fact, yesterday we had Alethea. We were talking about the John Denver show.
Yeah.
And she had mentioned the improv group that they're going to be gearing up here formally with the night. Like, they've done a couple like one-off shows and things or events, but they're setting up like a monthly or quarterly, I don't remember off the top of my head, but a regular scheduled where they've got their improv group, and they're going to have nights where y'all, I don't know if it's like a Friday night or something, y'all come out and we'll do, think of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh,
think
I
of
love
that show,
Yeah.
and think of a live version of that. And that's basically what they're going to be doing here on I think it's monthly basis. Don't quote me on that. Yeah. So again, get involved with the communal theater, follow their social media, or check in on their website, stay up to date on this kind of stuff. And like I said, when you come out, come say hi to Kirk and Denise, and come say, hey, I love the play. Can I do some of this? And they'll tell you, they'd love to tell you how to do all that.
Yes, and I'll tell you, having people in the audience laugh, I can say, as being on stage acting, we feed off of that. Like that reaction from the audience, it just makes us want to do even better.
The more the people, like I did during the Christmas Santa showcase.
Yes,
I was
Mr. Grinch.
Yeah, for the last couple of times, and the more people laughed, the dumber and more louder my jokes got. So
you were awesome. You did such a great job.
I'm going to give you bad or worse jokes. And
you like that? Wait, there's more.
I'm going to probably offend you here in a minute. Hold on. But joking aside there, but yeah, you're right. That's the performance is very much on the participation of the crowd. And, and I know the folks in front of the house, they're going to be amped and excited, but when they get the reactions that they envisioned when they're doing it from the audience, that just feeds that character, that ego. It feeds everything. It makes that a better performance. It just does.
Absolutely.
RoswellTheater.com, TheaTre.com, or you can get tickets at the door for these events, but you're kind of playing a little Russian roulette with that. So just because, especially, and the only reason I say that, because if it's sold out, you're going to miss out. And generally, I've never seen anybody get turned away, but I've seen that house get packed. So so please just do yourself and your date a favor, and get your tickets in advance. That way you can big time and roll up VIP style and get
there. You go.
Get in there. And
come in your Elvis costume that opening night.
That's right. Get in for free. That's right. Get in. Get a free ticket if you come in and do your best Elvis. Whether it's svelte, sexy Elvis, or peanut butter banana sandwich Elvis.
There you go. we accept all Elvises. They are all welcome.
All Elvi.
There you go. We are all everybody. Everybody's welcome.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. We look forward to seeing our performances here. I got to talk with my wife and figure out which date we're going. But
great.
We're in. So
that's awesome.
We got to figure it out. Probably a Saturday. Friday nights. She's a teacher. Well, you know this. We turn into pumpkins on Fridays.
We do.
Yes.
The wife, the Mr. Winter's wife, and I, we taught for a while together.
They've spent many time in trenches together.
Yes, we did.
I'm assuming, like her, you were very excited to when the mask mandate lifted yesterday.
I'm very excited to see smiling faces in my classroom again.
My wife told me it was literally like a celebration. The kids cheered, the masks went up in the air, and it was like, crank up the music, it's party time. You know, that's what it was like. Well, thank you guys. We look forward to seeing the fruit of your labor here next week.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Yeah,
thank
thanks for having us.
Break a leg.
Thank you.
Even though you're not on stage, is that still applicable to the directors?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know if that was faux pas-ish or not. I don't know, because like baseball, you step on the line, I don't want to commit any of those kind of problems.
Oh, I don't understand that. But yes, break a leg is appropriate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you're not supposed to, if you're on baseball, and you're going on to the diamond, and there's the first base and third base line.
Okay.
You're not supposed to step on that line when you're going out. That's bad mojo.
Oh.
So superstitious bait, they jump over the line. They don't stand on the third base or the first when they go out to take their position.
There you go.
Good to know.
Yeah. So there you go. Take that.
I don't know. I do theater. I don't know sports so well.
I'm a jack of all trade, master of none. That's what I am. So it is 9:58. We're going to do a quick break before we go. Don't go away.
Honey, did you see the story in the Roswell paper recently about how Dennis Kintai and the city council want to spend $61 million on new baseball fields?
Yep, talk about out-of-control spending.
Yeah, they say it's a field of dreams, more like field of debt.
Definitely. Kintai and the council don't have their priorities straight. Remember, they wanted to spend $35 million on a new public safety complex. Thank goodness over 80% of voters rejected that boondoggle.
And meanwhile, crime has gone up drastically over Kintai's last 4 years in charge.
Yeah, and Roswell's roads are a mess. Have you seen the sorry state that streets like North Garden are in? Potholes everywhere.
That's why we need Tim Jennings for mayor. Tim will control spending, hire more police officers, and fix our roads.
Let's send a message to City Hall that Roswell can't afford to spend $61 million on building new baseball fields. Vote Tim Jennings for mayor.
Paid for by Tim Jennings for mayor.
Time to double up and save at Roswell Honda.
Double your refund.
That's right. Roswell Honda wants to double up your tax refund up to $4,000 towards your next vehicle. And with clearance prices across the lot, you can walk in, double up, and drive away today in a 2014 Yukon for just $379 a month, a 2014 Civic for just $249 a month, or a 2017 Escape for just $199 a month.